All right. And we are live. Welcome to the Iron Lords podcast in the lordsofgaming.net, episode number 117. And it's another glorious Sunday. We're back at the round table on the Lord's Day. I'm very excited about our special guest, and we've got the Switch Lite reveal, Final Fantasy VII Remake exclusivity, the big three moving consoles out of China, InXile and Xbox Game Studios, plus Gears 5 smoking to discuss. So we're going to get right into it. I want to introduce a Lord whose continued rise as a content creator is truly outstanding to watch develop. Whether it be his extremely informative videos, straight shooting podcast team, or his hilarious approach to gaming, there's no doubt on social media who the king of the saltiest take is. Introducing the creator and host of the Saltiest Gaming YouTube channel and the Saltiest Gaming podcast, the proud father of the recent newborn to the realm, and the Lord whose Xbox might turn into a pillar of salt if Gears 5 does not impress him on launch. Live from Arizona and making his return into the realm of the Lords, my man, Lord Saltiest Gaming. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. It's good to be back. Goodness. I'm surprised I'm still awake, but hey, that's why I have my Red Bull here, because it keeps you awake when you're running off a few hours of sleep. But man, it's good to have baby number 2. She is beautiful.
Congrats.
Beautiful little button, man. I can't get enough of her, honestly, because she's so cute. She has brown hair, and I think she'll have blue eyes. I'm not sure, because the eyes are kind of gray in the beginning. But yeah, it's good, man. It feels like I've been gone for like a month, you know?
God bless.
Man.
God bless.
Absolutely. Salute to the newborn, man.
Yeah, I saw the picture. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful
saw the picture.
Yeah,
Yo, salute to the... Continue.
It's Emily Rose is what we've came to the name.
Lady Emily Rose, future of the realm.
Yeah.
Salute. You know what I'm saying? So welcome back. So it's been a minute. Shout out to your team, man. I had a good time. I was actually on TGSP. You know what I'm saying? So that was dope. Was it FC Violent? Titan Drago, Noof, right? Noof, Centurion and Hyena.
Yep.
Am I forgetting? You got a whole new squad now, like
yeah. It's the rotation's real, you know. Throughout life, people have things changing, but yeah, I love our panel and our squad, man. We keep it real. I've been throwing in gifts during the show, you know.
Yes.
So.
Love it, man. Yo, the show is growing. It's love to see the journey, man. Keep it up. And by the way, your avatar now really fits in the realm of the Lord. I had to say that. I'm a huge fan of the avatar now. Like,
I was down with the salty hand. I was so down with the salty hand. That joint was so lit. Yeah, see, but I do like the picture though.
See how you down with the salty hand. You know what I miss though? I miss his original beat at the end of his video. That joint was the club banger. Remember the beat?
Yeah. Play that in the car, right?
Yeah. So I used to be bouncing to that joint. But salute to Salty, upgrading and leveling up. You already know. So you already know we got the 4 horsemen of gaming. Those original lords here at the round and the round table. My co-host with the co-most, my brother from another mother, the difficult game conqueror, and the how of the young wolf. My man, Lord Attic, how you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good. Actually doing this whack. I can't cuss, but I have to replay the Forsaken expansion. So,
are you serious?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely serious. Okay, I was told that there is there is what's
don't say nothing to my part.
There is cheesing to be done. So I will.
Wait, time out.
Oh, here we go. Alert, where's the fraud alert? Is that early?
No, I'm not gonna hit him with the fraud alert because that's actually a good thing. Okay. I'm gonna say this though. You know where I rock at, dogs? Where the hell are you at? Like you crossing over on me? You crossing over on me?
Face life now.
Like, hey, you out here cheating, my dude? You cheating, my dude?
Upgrade. You know how I go.
There's no upgrade. There's no upgrade. You the king of the downgrade. You be quiet with your little switch. You the king of the downgrade. Be quiet with the switch, man. I'm talking the big boy stuff. Now be quiet. Now.
Look, man.
The least big boy of the big boy.
Man. I'm not.
Hey, man, what's
I've
going
played
on?
plenty of games like Overwatch. You know, I've played that. You know, obviously there's a little bit of difference, but it's not that much of a difference.
I just want to know what's going on.
What's going on is I'm not playing Destiny on console anymore. That's what's going on.
All right, okay. If I see yourself there again, hey,
Well, listen,
Let me catch you in them streets.
Here's the thing: in September, we can materialize down from heaven with cross save and come play with you, common folk.
Nah, you know what I'll do? You know what I will do when that actually occurs? I will step over there for a little bit and dance. Because once I'm able to bring my stuff over, see, my biggest barrier to that whole situation was the fact that PlayStation was frauds. So they were holding everyone back. Bungie is no longer beholden to the Activision crap that has soaked their soil. So now we can actually get it done. You got to get that.
Salute the death.
So are you saying the reason that you weren't playing on PCs because Sony was being some frauds? Is that what you saying?
It's a fact though. And, I really got a giant system over here, and Sony was holding everybody back because their infrastructure, as we can tell, it was infiltrated not too long ago. You understand? Was not able to hold the cross save. They understand. As soon as you start cross saving with Sony's, everybody start saving your bucks. They start cross saving your dollars.
You can bring this over. You got Xbox Game Bar with the push of a button.
Man, that sounds nice, man. I put my Elite on that. Let me put my Elite on that.
So shout out to Death Ticket, $2 super chat. Salute to our Lords and Savior, Phil Dominus.
I'm not saying
King,
that.
King has to read that one. King is reading the next one.
The next one.
Well, congrats on the kid, Salty.
No.
You know what? Say today, we that's what we doing. That's what we doing.
No, I'm not gonna say that. I already told you. I said, listen. First and foremost, there will never ever be any Phil Dominant slander in this podcast.
Okay. All right. So then I'll say, thanks for the $2 super chats from Phil Spencer tags.
No. Thanks for the $2 super chat from Phil Spencer.
So now we have to like Phil Spencer up in our chat like that.
Thanks, Phil.
King was like, I ain't gonna read what you said, but I'm gonna read the $2.
Thanks.
That was actually in the comment section.
Somebody said that. Megatron said that. I peed. Yo, it was hilarious.
Thanks for the bucks. Thank you.
No doubt addict, and of course we have our most technical gaming lord, the solo gamer who lives with a single player selfish experience. And also the Saltiest, Mr. Offline Profile Illuminati and Lord Patreon of the Iron Bank, my man, Lord Sovereign. How you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good, man. Doing good. Chilling.
Fun show.
Yeah, we do.
You know what I like? They got so much fun going on right now. They must have something at the expense of the camera. That's about to go down.
You know what? It's not at your expense at all. It's just hilarious.
It's just hilarious.
Okay. No, I think this is some. This is like that you finally win something, and then you're just gonna go extra with it for no reason.
We'll leave that for the end of
it. What I'm telling you right now, I want you to put the chin strap on and pull the boots up. Buckle up, all right? Buckle up, baby. Put the mouthpiece in because it's about to be a bumpy ride. These dudes think it's gonna go one way, but understand.
Look, I got my car. I got my.
The funny thing is, you know what it is? They're on the defensive because of the Switch. So they just ready for anything. Look, like a goalkeeper right now, back and forth, bouncing back and forth.
King, I got my booster seat on and everything, man. I'm good. Like I ain't going nowhere.
Listen, don't you worry about this right here. As soon as they go left, I'm gonna make sure it go right. We got this whole joint. They understand. Listen, Patrick Ewing, Mutombo, you are not gonna score that basket.
What happened? I'm so glad you're here, Salty, because this is what happens when you have a things like this happen. But anyway, what have you been playing, sir? What's going on?
What have I been playing? So yeah, just like King said,
he's gonna somehow bring Switch into this somehow.
It's a game console. Hold up, haven't you said you played Final Fantasy 7 on Switch like the past 3 months?
Okay, but that is not relevant.
How is that not relevant? How is that not relevant?
I played. What's that game where they chase the pen? You be the person be like, I played this. I played that.
You jumped the gun because I was about to throw Switch in the bushes for a minute. I was about to do that. Wait, now you want to listen? I'm
all about it. You have the floor.
I didn't want to jump in Sovereign's topic.
Yeah, so I had picked up that bloodstained on that Switch early on. Boy.
Natsu gave me the dirt.
Continue. I feel for you. Did you get your money back?
I have gotten my money back, and I have gotten the proper Xbox One X version at 4K.
Is it that bad?
Yes.
It's just it's gotten some patches to improve it, but it's never gonna be 60. After playing it at 60, I don't want to play it any other way. So
I don't know how they that port up though.
No, but you know what? They said that the Unreal Engine doesn't do as well as other consoles on that one system. And it's because the Tegra, how the Tegra is built, it doesn't handle the information as well as the other consoles.
Scaling down to with Unreal and seemingly having not much issues, and like, you know, a lot of the Unreal stuff was scalable, but this is very strange to me. It's just like a 2D game.
Yeah, it's a 2D. I mean, it's a 2D game with 3D polygons, but it's on a 2D plane. So, I mean, and the game really is beautiful. Like,
it's a very good looking game.
It's a gorgeous game. Yeah. It's a great game too. It really takes that Symphony of the Night formula. It really is like a true successor to that. So,
shout out to Phil Dominus. I catch that in Game Pass.
I'm sure it'll be there at some point, definitely. And that's pretty much it. I play some more Assassin's Creed, dude. Like I can play, like, I can't wait for xCloud so I can just like get play and like whatever, like grind and finish that game eventually, because that game is just too much.
Speaking of xCloud, do you understand? Like, I fantasized yesterday because I was setting up next year our marketing campaign and going forward towards E3 2020, and I was putting the outline of the t-shirts and thinking about exactly where in Hollywood we will rest at. And it just came over me that next year I'm just going to take my controller and I'm going to go where I'm going. And we going to get busy because Attic, I do apologize to you because I think the text came off a little salty, no pun intended. And I think you heard me like wrong or whatever, but I never got a chance to clear it up. And I looked at it the other day. I was like, oh, he probably thought I was going at him, but I wasn't going at you with this year's marketing campaign with the Iron Lords against the world. Iron Lords versus the world was a fiasco. Shout out to all the dudes that didn't have the gas money to get there, and didn't want to brave traffic to get to the people. We go. But I'm not salty, no pun intended, about it, because I would have drove to you. I'd have brought that controller to you and gave you that smoke, but nobody wanted that smoke, so
that's what it was.
Yeah.
And of course, we have the incredible Hulk of this, aka the Excess Gamer.
Ooh,
Lord of Combat Sports, King of the Statues, who demands nothing less than that premium experience and is the leader of the Fraud Alert movement.
Ooh,
we love it. Lord King, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing terrible, actually. As y'all can see, my bathroom messed up. So I had turbines down here, y'all, air drying everything. None of the statues got harmed. I remember you guys, I told you about the shelf collapsing. I'm gonna do a video about that. You didn't get any statues this week. As you can see, the area right here got some boxes on it or whatever. But the reason why you didn't get it because I couldn't video record because the noise. It was literally like dudes was down here, like it was a team just blowing air, and it was so loud, inaudible. We had to just get out of here and not be around. But that statue talk, combat talk, all that stuff will be up soon. So I do apologize for
you got real life stuff going on. Yeah. That is definitely excusable. So, like, what as far as gaming, has you got a chance to do any gaming with everything going on?
Okay, so it's this thing called Last Station. If y'all haven't played it, it's in Game Pass, right? So it's a 16-bit side scroller, and it's like a horror game, and it's I don't know, it's like a drama horror, and it's a train game. So I'm playing it. And then find out that the cities is overrun with zombies, and it's so nice and it's so much fun to play. It's inside Game Pass. If you got Game Pass, go check it out. Of course, I've been doing Destiny, trying to get my Bad Juju. Shout out to Hot Monkey, Chris, and Bone, and everybody else who's been doing the Green Mason.
Salute.
And it's one more game that I played that I was digging in my crate. Oh, Forza 7. I'm trying
to play Forza.
Remember, I purchased it when the system came out. When X Enhanced was on it, I was all over that. So I'm trying to finish it up. My fraud behind turned the game on. Why 35 cars popped up? Was like, you got 35 cars for free because I signed up for the pass.
The pass, and then the drivatar stuff. Like your car is technically driving in other people's courses, so you always get points. And all of a sudden, if you haven't played it for a couple of months, you're gonna get a bunch of
You know what hit me though? Somebody, I think it was we'll get to him too. What you call his drivatar, Whiskey's drivatar was rocking.
Really? Wow, man.
It hit me, son. I was like, it's one of those things when video games put you in a place.
Yeah,
I was like, crazy. But yeah, I feel you, bro. That's what's up. Getting that Forza in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's about it. That's
no doubt. And of course,
one more thing, guys. We will have a big announcement new to the Johnson family coming soon. I posted the other day because my fiance purchased me portrait of Benji, Lord Benjamin. Lord Benjamin passed early on in the year, and she got a portrait of him made. So now I'm able to open the box because his box with his ashes is upstairs. I haven't opened it yet, and I don't know how I'm able to confront that situation. I kind of like put it off. It's there, but I have been looking at a companion, and I've settled on one, and she's beautiful. She's a 2-year-old Frenchie. And spoke with the lady, make sure the paperwork is in order, and we're gonna go pick up soon. So this happened, and I can't bring her in the house with this here.
Absolutely not. Salute on that, man. We much love. We saw the love going out to you, man. We've all been there, and like I tell anybody, man, like that's why, like I know me as a person, it's so hard for me. You know what I'm saying? Because if I lose an animal, it is literally the equivalent of a person. And it's actually
shout out to you because you send me something that really made me understand that you understood exactly what I was going through, and like you being there as a friend, as a family member, that really meant so much to me. You really have no idea. I captured that screenshot. I screenshotted that, and people don't understand. Animals is really a part of you. It's crazy.
Yeah, even more so because, like I said, the day-to-day interaction, every aspect, like when you wake up, that animal's there, that pet's there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's even more so. It's the deeper connection. Want to give a shout out to shout out. What's up, Potentially Perfect? See you in a minute. Shout out to Def Singer. He said, King hit me up on Forza 7. I race online. I'm on Pro. Shout out to J Dub, aka Kratos. What's good, my kings? Just stopping by quickly with the $2 super chat. What's going on, Lord? You already know. Shout out to DJ Sing. They saying the painting was great, King. Everybody's loving the painting.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, the painting was dope. Sir Benjamin, you already know. And of course, we have the Lord of the Cooperative Experience and Gaming Ninja himself, the Shinobi, LordCognito, spreading that realness in the realm of the ILP, not telling you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. So yeah, we got to keep the solemn theme, y'all. But unfortunately, I want to give a shout out to MJ is a boss, man. Please, if you guys know MJ's a boss, he's on this ILP stream team. He's been with us for a while now. He's really going through it. And shout out to the family and his sister. You know, they're really going through a tough medical situation right now. MJ the boss is okay, but this is more so for the sister and everything that's on his mind. Send some love out to him, y'all. Like I said, check on him. You know, it's a rough time, and we definitely want to send our thoughts and prayers to the family and positive thinking. So just wanted to put that energy out there for MJ the boss, my man. You already know. And yeah, so for me, I mean, it's just been Destiny hardcore, man. When Destiny's good, I'm back, baby. So back off the Guardian Con joint, finally get a chance to blaze, and I might have to do a Cognito fraud alert, King.
What happened?
Oh man, let me tell you.
Shout out get that
you gotta say his name. I want Addict to read that. You guys say his name.
All right, so
hey, I'll say his name. I know who he is.
Yeah,
Rumple Foreskin with the $2 donation.
You said his what? What's the name? What's the name? I didn't hear it.
You need to enunciate at it.
Yeah, because I didn't hear it.
Let me get this straight. Like, I say the name, but you want to redub, but you wouldn't say the last name. Okay,
listen, I'm gonna tell you right now.
You don't have to deal with that.
Anything that's negative towards Phil Dominus is just not gonna be spewed right this podcast. I'm just not gonna do that. But go ahead.
Shout out to the $2 chat. The Wrath World. Shout out to the Lords. The Emperor is here. I don't know who he's referring to. The Emperor.
That's my guy. That's my guy right there.
Rumple Foreskin. That was his name.
Oh, his name is Rumple Foreskin. I just wanted to make sure that we understood Rumple Foreskin with the $2.
First time checking out the podcast. Salute, brother.
Yo, Rumple. Just to let you know, had I came across you in Destiny with that name, I would have immediately added you. Immediately. Man with that type of sense of humor needs to be rolling with the king.
Hilarious, yo. So, like I said, I gotta get some fraud alerts out, man. Because I don't know if shout out to the Ashley Lucas, she's in the chat. Destiny's really hot right now. There's some great activity. Season of Opulence is lit, Menagerie is lit. Now, here's the thing: there's this new activity right now, and it's called like the Tribute Hall. And as most of you know, Bad Juju is back. The only way to get Bad Juju, a beloved weapon, is to play this mode. So, shout out to my podcast partner, Ebontis, from the last work. We had a good discussion this Friday, and it was kind of like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love, that they doing all this cool stuff, but like this event wants mad resources, mad planet materials, mad glimmer. And then like the way it works off is like you do these bounties for him, and it gives you a 1% discount each time. 1%. Do you know how long you got to be playing before these prices of all these materials go down? You can get what you want to get. And they literally have the gun locked behind it, right? So he's like, Cog, nah, that's good, man. Just 3-4 weeks of grinding. You're going to get that.
3-4 weeks.
That's where I check out.
You're grinding longer than some wars have had.
Bro, I'm not trying to grind. I want my Bad Juju, right? So we getting into it a little bit. So he's like, oh, no, it's no problem. So then I want to shout out another person. Shout out my man Pyro Gaming, because he's got a great video out right now. And apparently there is a way to access these materials much quicker. So all I'm going to say is shout out to all you frauds playing Forge right now. All of you. And I know why y'all playing Forge. AFKing, doing what y'all doing.
Just a quick question, LordCognito. Yeah. If is me playing this game right now to be is that make me a fraud? Like me playing it right now to do the cheese?
Right now. Like you doing what you got to do, because everybody want that juju. You know what I'm saying? Oh, shout out to Cedric H with the $5 super chat. Just stopping by to show some love, my man. Much appreciated, brother.
Yo, Cedric, my man, I gotta tell you, your level of activity on Twitter is outstanding. I really must say that, man. I do appreciate all that love.
Shout out to Dizzy with the 2 weekly reminder that King O solved his needs.
Yeah, that's good.
Yo, you gonna go broke with that.
We're gonna have to.
And I cannot wait till you got to take your credit card and slide it on the side of your PlayStation in order for you to play those old games.
I think that's another set of needs. I don't think he's talking about those.
Yeah, I'm happy to share them needs with.
I don't even know what he's talking about. There ain't no cog sharing needs.
We're gonna have to.
Y'all dudes
sounds a little suspect. Let's not talk about sharing needs.
Time out. Let's clear this up now. All right, I'm gonna clear this up right now. First of all, Cognito is not getting any knees. Pause. All right, so let's
today the knees.
Let's no, there's no need for you. I told you basically that
you said it would be $300.
Oh, listen. I did. We didn't bet no knees on that.
He's right.
But I did. But we did bet knees on it being shown at E3, right? And I'm not gonna call him on that.
We ain't bet no knees about it being shown.
I believe so.
No fabricating information right now.
All I know.
Flag on the field.
All I know is if King loses some knees, I don't remember them bets.
Yeah,
because you're not part of it.
That knees had to happen.
Yeah, the only knees that's out there that's in the air is Sovereign's knees, and Sovereign is actually holding on because Dizzy. I don't know what you and Dizzy got going on, but Disney is actively pumping.
I think what it is I think what it is. Low-key Dizzy wants your knees.
No,
if he has to go through some,
you know why? Because I had massacred Dizzy with that art crap, and he's still.
Oh no! We don't refer to art as art crap. We refer to it as an art PowerPoint.
I just think it's impressive how long you've delayed these knees. That's all.
Why? If I told you when the system launches, throw that disc in and show me that it can do that. It can't. They don't have. Listen, they can make a beautiful looking system.
You know how unlikely. You know how unlikely that is that you're going to slide a credit card.
Well, you know, no.
Oh no, I will drop dead on this podcast.
Look, I ain't trying to kill people. I'm just trying to get knees. There's no need for that.
I'm not even a part of that bet. But I would bend the knee if his prediction is true that Sony is going to ask for money when you do.
Look, if there is a card reader on the side of PlayStation, I don't expect to bend the knee segment. I expect you to do a live stream if you cutting your knees off and seeing them
that is absolutely a joke. That's hyperbole. But I understand this. I understand. First of all, they do not have a Bill Stillwell over there unless they can listen. You know what? I will actually.
They're not. They don't have access to other people to do it.
They don't. Listen, Guy Kai will show you. Okay, relax. If Bill signed with Sony tomorrow, then I will be like, oh, I'm giving you the knee straight up right now because I understand. Yeah. Once Bill is on the job, it's over. It's a wrap.
So hold up, just to clarify, you're saying that it's not necessarily because Sony doesn't want to give their fan base, the backwards compatibility for free, that they don't have the necessity and the ability and the talent to do it. So they have to charge you.
They only know how to charge people.
Listen, it's the equivalent of right now. See, right now I would love to run a 40-yard dash. I can't. Right? Sony would love to give you backward compatibility. They can't. It's over. Right? So let it go. Y'all not getting it. Y'all really think it's gonna really happen. For you to make that happen, you're gonna have to pay them bucks. You really, it's like me in the chat. I can't read it.
Bro. He's not trying to let that knee go.
Nah, my knees is right here. No,
no. But back to the Destiny joint real quick. So shout out to all these frauds out here who doing this hustle. Playing Forge, we all know why y'all playing Forge because there's nothing hot and nothing new happening in Forge, and y'all farming. And shout out to Manny Bodges because I got receipts on all of y'all and Mikey Barr, all of y'all, all my Destiny PC friends. I got the screenshot, I got the receipts. So all y'all talk about y'all like that grind, y'all fraud. So I just had to put that out there. Anyhow, before we get into the joint, now, Sav, would you like to get into the order of business,
brother?
I just feel like there's some real crazy stuff about to go on because they won't even tell us what they're talking about. Like,
yo, look at my mouth.
I don't look at any man's mouth like that.
I gotta let you go. You gotta get that.
Let's go. So let me start off with a disclaimer first, indicating that
we got to start with a disclaimer.
That the Iron Bank nor myself has had nothing to do with this at all. Nothing at all to do with this.
I have a feeling I'm playing something dumb, or one of us is playing something dumb.
Big shout out to Lord Snaldo and the Banhammer. Job well done after a record 1,000 fraudulent submissions to the Iron Lord Podcast Gleam giveaway for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 for Nintendo Switch. We have a winner. And just remember the disclaimer. The winner of the Gleam IO Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 giveaway is none other than the Lord of Salt himself. Saltiest Gaming.
Yo, Salty. I swear we are never, you for real one. For real.
You for real one. You for real one.
I said we are never gonna hear
the end of it.
I know. The it's rigged. It's rigged. You know what I'm saying?
You know how many comments we get every Patreon month? So this is the ultimate. They're gonna feel that you pay
ultimate rig.
So are you saying they're all rigged, but this one?
But this one.
It's all.
Is that what we're going with now? They're all rigged.
I gotta call a little bit. I gotta call Salty out a little bit real quick though. I gotta Lord Salty. Would you not subscribe to the Iron Lords podcast before this? Or was it a sneaky little unsubscribe and resubscribe at the last moment?
I find this a little bit too suspect.
Just
I pull over. I would like y'all to pull over, put your hands on the dashboard.
Just plead your guardian rights and plead the fifth.
Yeah, Deadpool, rig, old school style, fixed, Slow-mo, super rig.
All the synonyms for rig you can find.
It just so happens that he's the guest on the podcast, and he wins the Gleam giveaway. Highly suspect.
So congratulations, Lord Salty. I will have that code for you later on this evening.
Salty, a little mumbly. Your mic's a little mumbly, just so you know, because I can hear you too much. But
you gotta keep it down for the baby. What's wrong with you? He just told you he put the baby down. Like
no, but congrats, Salty. We're never gonna hit the end of this.
Well, what it really is he's low-key texting Saul, telling him what to say.
The Iron Bank received no payment.
I will look over the books and I will let you know if this is a fraudulent
Fogazy transactions.
So now we got to what the Lords are playing, and Lord Salty has won the Marvel Ultimate Alliance sweepstakes. We're gonna be doing a new one very soon, Lords. And he's actually been given the royal treatment before, all the way back ILP 45. I believe it was like 2018, brand new year. That's when we started with Salty. So so we had this tremendous game history. Obviously, a lot of Nintendo love in there. But you actually missed out on a segment that we did after, which was the top 5. So Lord Salty, I need your top 5 video games or franchises of all time.
Top 5. Okay. Number 1, Mario. All right. So there, all right. Because I was thinking about it and I thought it was, first of all, how's my mic? Is it still mumbled?
Better. Yeah, better.
All right, cool. So I thought it was Mario 64 that was my favorite of all time, but man, Super Nintendo Mario, that takes king for me because I've been playing Super Mario Maker 2 and just been doing some of those levels and stuff. So Mario is going to be number 1 for me. Halo's going to be up there. What else? What do we got? Gears can be up there for me.
Okay.
Doom, you got to put Doom up there because I'm an FPS guy. I started playing Doom.
How you feeling about that new one? How you feeling about that new one?
Dude, I can't wait for the new Doom, man. It's going to be awesome.
It's right now is upstairs inside the Game Pass. If you go play Game Pass right now,
there's so many good games out there, like to put a top 5 together. There's so many franchises that I just love. Can I put Star Wars in there and like Star Wars? Because I Battlefront and there's all kinds of different Star Wars games out there, but I just love Star Wars so much. The old Battlefront games were really good for me, and just a lot of the Star Wars. I'm just gonna say Star Wars.
Star Wars is a franchise. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a strong list. So you got the Halo, the Mario, the Doom. Star Wars is a franchise. I'm missing one more.
What else did I say? Gears.
Gears the fifth. Yes. There we go. Strong list. I like it. Top 5 has been completed. So we're gonna get into these topics. We got a lot to discuss now. On this one is actually hot off the presses. It was a bonus topic. I hit Lord Salty up last night just to let him know this is gonna be thrown onto the show, and it's gonna be no puff pass in Gears this year. So we got to talk about it. Obviously, it's very hot on the social media streets. So I want to bring this to you, Lord Salty. You're a big Gears fan. We saw the news right now that looks like they Rod Ferguson and these guys saying they definitely want to remove smoking and any type of depiction of it in the game. So what are your thoughts about this?
I was very opinionated on Twitter as usual because I was put up some You know, some good old gifts of the smallest violin to play for people because they're so heartbroken that smoking is not going to be in their favorite video games. It's interesting how some of these things trend, but people talking about censoring and this and that. But I think what it comes down to is just creative vision. And there's a difference between the two. And honestly, I think people need to see that because Rod himself talked about how he never had a desire to have smoking in his games. And he's the creative lead there. So when you're talking about censoring and then creative freedom for development, for entertainment, you got to look at the two and find that division, because if Rod himself doesn't like smoking, and there's a good reason for that, because he lost some people or lost loved ones to that. Right. I mean, how could you question the guy and say, he's just doing this and that? He opened his heart up and he's trying to tell people. And yes, does it coincide with some of these esport things? Yeah, sure. They're always going to try to make a story about it. But, we're seeing similar things like in entertainment with Stranger Things. They're talking about not having smoking on there as well. In my opinion, it's just smoking is what it is. It's just, I don't want to hurt people's feelings out there, but I will. Smoking is a bad habit. It just kills people. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know there's a lot of people that are going to throw out, well, you guys are trying to defend violence in video games and saying that doesn't cause people to go shoot up things or this and that. And then you're saying, they're going to watch smoking in a video game and then want to go smoke. It's not about that, man. It's just, in my opinion, it's just a creative thing that he said he had a bad experience with it. And if he doesn't want it in the game, that's fine. But the media will just run with the story and make something out of it, Okay.
Not fair. No, I got a quick question before I pass it to the rest of the panel.
Yeah.
What about in reference to like the fact that it did exist at some point, and because the counter argument is going to be like, censorship. You know what I'm saying? Like, now we it might be slippery slope or something like that. Do you feel in this case is different because of the fact it's the actual developer himself, like with Rod himself?
There's been some confusion with the games and if they've had smoking in there or not. Rod himself said there hasn't been smoking in the first 4 games, and there's a picture going around of some dude smoking a cigar, right?
Yeah,
I'm not sure where that's. Do you guys know where that's from?
Rob said there hasn't.
That was like Gears 3.
Yeah, he said there hasn't been smoking since DLC of Gears 2.
Well, I guess this guy is like, you can play him in multiplayer in Gears 3. He's like a chain smoker or whatever, like,
Yeah, because he came out with the statement. I'm trying to find it on my feed here. He just said it hasn't been in there. So like, in order to censor it, it has to be in there. Right. And I don't know if he misspoke or whatever. Gotcha. But it's not like they're what was it for Devil May Cry, where there's actual nudity in the game, and then it's a different version coming out on a different platform. Then that's you're actually censoring that because you're censoring the nudity and you have a different version of it. What he's saying is it just hasn't been in there, so it was a decision he made. It's confusing because I keep seeing that picture floating around of this dude I've never seen in years.
Well, pretty much what he said, because people are attacking this man like hardcore over this, and it's like, look, like, he has issues with smoking. No, it's not censorship. People need to understand. People like throwing out words that they really have no idea what it really means. Okay, censorship is when you censor something that's already been made to appeal to something, or because something was forced to do it. It's like, it was never in the game. You can't censor something that was never in the game. Like, look, sure, it's a slippery slope a little bit. Maybe he shouldn't pursue his own persona onto his game, but at the end of the day, it's his game to do what he wants.
It's his vision. It is his vision.
And what's funny is there's way more issues with this game that's going on right now than smoking. Like the fact that we haven't seen campaign. Like, let's talk about that. Let's not talk about, it just blows my mind. It's like, he said from the moment he had real, collective power there. I guess it was around Gears 2 when he started getting a lot of influence into the Gears franchise. Yeah. That he got it took out. Okay, but it's not a big deal. First off, it's a post-apocalypse world. Technically, there's probably not much smoking going on in this world.
Just I got his exact quote here, and I actually probably read it wrong. He just said, just to clarify, I've always been anti-smoking and have pushed back on having it in Gears since day one. There was no smoking to remove from Gears 4 or 5 because there never was any smoking to begin with. So I guess there was earlier on, like you guys
Gears 2 was the only one.
Yeah,
apparently it might have been in Gears 1, but I don't know.
Yeah. So we're talking about when this guy has been in charge, right? When the coalition was made, he's in charge. He doesn't want that shit in his game. So, I mean, it's not there. It's not being censored. He just has never liked it. And he gave his reasoning. And I think it's interesting that people would actually question the man's integrity, especially when it's involved in a death, you know, like, I mean, at a certain point, guys, this is video games. And when someone's given their word, you got to take them for their word. And if you're questioning their integrity, I just don't think that that's right, because I believe this guy's telling the truth. And
I think there's a deeper meaning than what
I think
you guys are alluding to be honest with you.
If you know, even if he came out and he said, we took out smoking to, you know, because esports is going to take us more seriously with no smoking. But like, I would even take that as a reason. It's like, look, people don't realize how much esports keeps your game alive. Yeah. So it's like, if someone just like, yo, don't smoke in your game, you could be in esports. All right. Like, it's not like we was going to be smoking in the post-apocalypse world anyway. So that's gone. Like, but people, I will say that, you know, this was exaggerated to the fullest. When it comes to censorship or any form, I don't think this is censorship, but when it comes to anything that even remotely looks like censorship, people for some reason act like the entire world is being censored when that's not the case.
Shout out to Wraith World to our super chat. No one would notice if he just kept it to himself.
So he was asked a question.
Right.
So is he supposed to not answer questions because people are going to?
You know, he didn't answer the question on why a single player hasn't been shown. Like, you want to pick and choose the questions that you want to answer, sir.
I honestly don't think he thought this was going to be a big deal when he said it.
Well, you know what? I don't think it should be a big deal, but anything that Microsoft does is a big deal. I believe there's an underlying tone when it comes to Microsoft in general. I believe that there's an underlying tone when it comes to their big games coming out. I believe it's fear mongering and it's hate, to be honest with you. They're looking for anything to attach to this game inside some negative form so it doesn't have proper sales. I believe attacking Rod Ferguson, where, to be honest with you, the man, listen, I'm going to tell you, I believe smoking is a disgusting habit. I believe I lost both of my grandmothers to that terrible addiction. And to watch them deteriorate in such a manner, it broke my heart. And to this day, I would never pick up a cigarette. That will never happen. I think people that do smoke should be separated from society. Take your little smoke and put yourself over there, to be honest with you. It's a terrible.
D,
yeah, tell me.
I gotta go along with this, man. Where are we putting these people?
Put them in the bushes. They should be in the double bushes. They should be in the shrubs.
So is there a smokeless free and a smokeless pushing?
Yeah, that to be honest with you, when somebody, to this day, I get shocked when I smell cigarette smoke. I'm like, you still do that? Who's still doing that? This is 2019. Who's still actively reading the back of the cigarette box that says causes cancer? You will die from this. And they say,
yeah, I'm doing this.
This is where I'm at with this. This is a thing. All right, so that out the way, we all know it's a disgusting habit. Had Rod Ferguson came out and said, yo, this is a disgusting habit, I don't promote it and I don't want it in my game. I don't care if esports said that they're going to push your game or whatever. I don't really care at all. I really don't think this is even a topic. For you dudes that want cigarette smoking inside your gears, puff a pack of cigarettes while you play. All right, put a pack to your mouth and let it go and deteriorate on your own. But nobody needs to worry about some video game, some virtual smoke. Are you serious?
Yo, let's get started, man. So, where you at with this?
I'm totally fine with Rod's reason for doing it. I mean, again, it is his game; he can do whatever he wants, and I think that's a more than valid reason to omit it from the game. Same thing if he would have, like Alex said, if he would have come out and be like, look, man, we're trying to keep this game in a forum where, it's appealing to all people. We want it to be an esport, a long-standing esport, and that's something that affects it. Cool. But at the same time, I do sort of worry. For me, my thing is always outside influences affecting your product is always something that I have to sort of look at it with a side eye, because it's anytime. Again, I understand it's business. I understand that, it's not just, sales of the game day one or whatever. It's about the life of the game, in all of its iterations, whether it be the single player campaign, whether it be the multiplayer stuff, whether it be the esports stuff. So I get that. But I have, once you talk about this youth group that came to, the Turner Broadcasting, was like, look, we're not feeling this in the game. And then they sort of turn the story into, well, yes, we own the broadcasting rights to your E-League. So that's sort of that,
it's not blackmail, but it's like, if you don't do what I say, you ain't getting nothing.
It's like they're getting squeezed a little bit. And that bothers me. But beyond that, again, I'll just, if that is the case and you're going to get more pushback from this, just stay with Rod's version, and that's fine. And that's more, I'm more than happy with that.
Nah, for you. I mean, so me and you aren't actually on the same type of time with it, because it's like the whole thing is funny to me, because I don't even remember. I must be a Gears I don't even remember Gears character smoking. Like, where was I at? That I just didn't even remember it. But
somebody was yelling out it was Cold Train. I was like, really? And some other stuff that they were talking about. Yeah. But I said, man, okay. So I don't mean to cut this part. It just irritated me because it was inside my chat this week, and. Do you really these guys aren't really hearing what they're saying? Does it affect gameplay? Did the cigarette smoke? Do you blow it inside the monster's face and then the monster be
like not like Metal Gear, right? Like
so what you're saying, King, is I can't light the bomb with my cigarette now.
Yeah, come on,
I have to go to the other side and grab a torch and light it. I can't just light it with the cigarette.
Is this stopping? I don't understand how this is an issue where it's something as aesthetic. Like maybe what if he said, okay, well, we're not gonna have any laces on the characters. If he anti-laces on their boots, like, is that a problem? Like, y'all, this is really stupid. It's really stupid.
No, I don't care. It's not affecting gameplay, right? So in that respect, I'm with y'all. I do feel what Solve is saying, though. This is my only thing. Like, if it's Rod, fine. Rod is making a game. Rod said he don't want it. I'm cool with that, right? My only concern is this little esports league and the people approaching.
It's like if they're stressing them, who else do they stress? And how many people's caving? And like this year, smoking's an issue. Next year, blood's an issue. The year after that, blood breaking people's necks an issue. And before you know, we all play Barbie doll games. Like I kind of agree with that, man.
That's my only thing. Go ahead, Salty. I hear you. I hear you chomping, Salty.
Just making content on YouTube, you see this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like they come out with more and more rules and more guidelines. These corporations, they want to make money and they want to sell their product. It's just like, I can see where you guys are coming from.
That's my only thing. Because here's my thing, Salty. Like, I'm all about the artist vision. Right? If the game creator says, hey, I want it to be like how with the Sekiro thing, right? And they were like, yo, there ain't no easy mode, fam. Like, it's well.
Just gonna have to suffer. It's like, get out.
It's not the game for you. Like, I read in life,
they didn't cave either. They're like you just won't beat it then. I mean, I don't know you.
You're Dizzy giving me dirt. Cock supports dirty lungs. Listen, man.
That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. You should have put that in a whatchamacallit. You should have put that in a super chat.
I was about to say that. I was like, you saw that, King?
I didn't listen. Cognito said it. I didn't read. I don't read that. All right, unless I see colors, I don't see that.
Colors and no numbers.
No, I don't see that unless I see colors.
But listen, man.
What color is your favorite color, King?
My favorite color is yellow.
And green. So, but it's all about, like I said, the artist vision.
Oh, green right there, King.
Here we go.
I said that's green. I said yellow.
Restored. It's so easy to hate Xbox and PlayStation fans have nothing to talk about. So everyone jumps on the hate train for clicks. PlayStation, great panel, guys. Listen, man, at the end of the day, I get it. It's just, I'm all about the vision. I'm all about the integrity of the artist or the game creator's original vision. So whatever that is, even if I don't agree with it, it. You know what I'm saying? There's stupid games out right now that's like, you know, murder simulator, whatever. I'm never gonna buy that. You know what I'm saying? It's just not my thing. But it's like, if someone's into that, yo, do you, fam? That's your thing. So I get it in that respect. So I just want to make sure that we don't get into that slippery slope.
Listen, God, listen.
Corporate influencing people.
This is the people will speak. We already been at this doorstep already. We was there with Mortal Kombat with the blood and no blood. You know, Sega took a gamble and said we're gonna leave the blood in. Their game was not superior to the Nintendo game. It was not superior, but they had blood. And guess what version sold? The people will speak. If they make a version with the cigarettes in it and you buy that one more, then God bless.
I got to interrupt you for a second, King. All right. I demand that you read Dizzy's super chat because you acted like he didn't exist a couple minutes ago. So
all right, Dizzy, I got to read that, right? From Dizzy. Cog is looking forward to the Marlboro Man. Shout out for the level of petty my man will go to make sure that I read it and it's up there and you hear it.
What's funny is, you know what we don't know. You know that red curtain that Cog has closed right now. What we don't know is Marvel just sent him a care package and he has it on his bed. He won't know what's see it.
Listen. Y'all not gonna sit there and say my man supports dirty laundry. That is not gonna be the thing. You're not gonna put the new meme up with Cog with the hat talking about smoking cigarettes.
It's done now. Just because you said it, it's gonna get done now.
Do not put the memes up with Cog saying smoke these cigarettes or else.
Oh, I'm finished because he gonna say I support Cog supports dirty laundry.
Like he's strong arming Rod Ferguson. You gonna put these cigarettes? It's such a game. Like y'all gotta stop that.
DLC.
You're gonna have something that's like, my name's LordCognito and I support this message.
Oh my God!
Yo, shout out to Mega. He said, 0003000. Smoking may seem small, but we want devs to tell the story they want to tell, not stories they have to tell to keep outside influence.
But smoking was never part of the story.
Yeah. Did you guys see Kojima's tweet about Mad Mikkelsen? How
I don't think Kojima even knows what he's talking about half the time, so I unfollowed him.
he tweeted this out, had a whole bunch of pictures, said, Mads, he smoked a lot on set, so originally his character wasn't going to smoke, but we put it in. The thing is, with that super chat, I think it's going to be creative freedom. Obviously, you're talking about with story. I think it's always going to be there. But when you go out to these multiplayer esports type games, I mean, I think that's when you start going into this corporate. You need to go with our protocol, you know.
Shout out to No Russian. Attic and King, stay damage controller.
Look, if you attacking me like that, man, I didn't see that. It wasn't green, it wasn't yellow, it wasn't blue.
I don't understand at what point in time that was damage control and me saying Cog doesn't support dirty lungs. But if you feel that is damage control, sir, I will damage control everybody on this panel at all times.
Man. You know the memes are coming.
We gotta keep it moving because we can get on this smoking topic all day. And I know King's got limited time, so we're gonna get into this. Moving right along, so I think I'm up. Switch Lite coming in hot, baby.
Get light.
Hold on. $2 super chat. $2.06 rated E for everyone. Look we started.
And you know what? Listen. There's a lot of context.
We're gonna be holding hands, singing Kumbaya. Listen, we got some crazy good games coming out, man.
I like this phone.
This is a lot of context to this, so let me explain why. All right, this is a backstory. And I appreciate you, Bone, for jumping in here, and because I was never gonna say anything. You know, Bone, we game all the time. Bone is always there in the chat, and you know, while he's working, you know, shout out to Phil Spencer and the team for allowing people to be part of the gaming world while they outside in the world. All right. And Bone brought up this topic with the cigarette smoking. And you know, he was highly offended at it because even if it was never part of the game, what he didn't like and what he doesn't want is any form of censorship, any form of bullying developers into pushing them into a corner where they can't do the creative vision of what they wanted. And the fact that Addict even alluded to the fact that as an esports connotation to this whole subject, that is troublesome in the point that they're putting big money on the table and they're forcing you to do something that otherwise, who cares if it was in there or not?
It is not this 18 plus games job to teach your kid not to smoke. First of all, your kid, if he shouldn't be playing the game, otherwise, it's like let's talk about.
Let's be real here. These people, the kids already smoke. All right, so
you know this.
Addict out there giving kids the dirty look.
Influencing people. What's going on?
They already smoke, so there ain't no point in saying nothing like that because they already smoking. They smoking in your bathroom. They smoking outside in the back porch. They blowing that out at the window. Leave my game alone.
I gotta read
Philly Eagle, baby.
All right, shout out to Philly Eagle for understanding how the king operates. Philly Eagle, you are a staple in our Sundays, and I do appreciate everything that you do, sir. And I just definitely want to highlight this part right here. Listen, everybody that's in the chat, Philly Eagle has definitely gotten on to something. Here we go.
Is he on to something?
Here's color for y'all. You know, really enjoying the show, just giving some support. That's right, my man. Keep doing what y'all doing. And shout out to Philly Eagle for understanding how everything is working. I do appreciate you, sir. And anytime you feel like stopping by, I definitely will shout you out.
I just love how your acknowledgement for colors and finances just always just goes to the top.
But his favorite color is yellow, though. Right?
I love yellow. Now, if y'all could figure out how to get to yellow, shout out to the boy.
Moving along from smoking, because we never gonna stop with the smoking, Jay. And like I said, we got King living, but we gotta get King in for this, which is that Switch Lite, y'all. It was announced, you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of stuff going on.
Am I going first?
You are going first, sir. So basically, we got the announcement, you know what I'm saying? Nintendo September 20th, $200. It's going to be that carrying case and screen protector set for the Nintendo Switch Lite. And obviously, there are some differences. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit smaller than
some differences. Okay.
Man, don't just set it up and stop coming with the joint that you're doing right now, the damage controller. Just set it up and let me in. Set it up and let me in.
It is pop it off and let other people
I will tell them what's wrong.
It is far inferior, and it doesn't matter.
Okay, now
I ain't going. No, we can't say far inferior.
It's far inferior, and it doesn't matter.
Bro,
This thing is not gonna let me finish. Go ahead.
No, it's not. I'm jumping in that part. You ain't gonna do what y'all doing right there. Y'all gonna stop. This is an active fraud alert. You see how it's moving? Because I actively have to bat the BS that's coming our way. Time out, man.
Listen, I can't read the stats.
No. You ain't gonna read the stats. I'm gonna give you the stats. All right. So first of all, the whole idea of it being called a Switch, it means it was able to switch from handheld to TV. Now you gotta stand still. All right, you gotta stand still. You gotta sit down. You gotta be still over there. Just in your hands.
King. I got a question for you.
Switch is 3DS to Switch now.
Hold on. That's
all it is.
Here we go.
Are you gonna buy the stand still?
Hell no. Listen, if it's a swear jar in here, I will fill that cup. Listen, let me tell you something. You know who might get it though, and this is where the fraud comes in on me.
Yeah,
you
gonna get it.
I'm not gonna do that.
Okay, who gonna get it?
If any one of my kids decide to say, "Hey, yo, Dad, you know what I'm saying? I want that." This is the thing that
But question: if you buy it, doesn't that mean that you got it anyway?
No. I'm supporting them. If I
frauding,
I will be supporting them. Now,
what's new?
Let me say where the smart part comes in, and I also must call fraud on Nintendo. Right? The Nintendo Pancake, which I have dubbed it.
The pancake.
Pancake. You flip it over because that's all it can do. Nothing else. They took away everything that made the Switch unique and beautiful in my eyes.
Oh, here we go. The sob story for the system he hates that you don't like. Here we go.
I went out and purchased it because it was able to do this and that. It was able to do something that my Xbox X can't do, my PlayStation Pro don't know. It was able to do these things, and it stood on its own. Now my man has definitely went to the territory. See, they've been trying to kill off the 3DS for a long time. They didn't want to make games for two different consoles. They want to make one game, make it universal, that you could take that same game and play it on two different formats, right? All right, so now this is a separate format. This is no longer the same format as the Switch. We got to stop calling it the Switch.
Can your current Switch still do what it does? Did you lose functionality with your current Switch? I'm just curious.
Well, no.
Is your current Switch unable to do the things that you want to do?
My current Switch is like, what the hell is that? Like, like when the TV.
Your current Switch is like, here's my here's my younger brother that is kind of like
I would say
here's my younger brother that's from the bad side of the family.
I would say something that will be highly offensive, but I'm not. All right, is an undeveloped Switch. Okay, so the fact that you got this premature Switch that should not be out in the world,
it should be out in the
world. Listen. Okay, well, give me this. I'm opposed to this. But I know they're gonna do numbers. You know why they're gonna do numbers? Because you sheeple don't understand that taking away what made it nice. Listen, that active rumble, that the fact that
Amiibo support.
The ability to really is Breath of the Wild.
The cheaters. That's why you ain't gonna buy that, because you can't cheat.
You said there's no Amiibos. What's up there? Amiibos, right?
What's up there is playing games fairly. That's what's up there.
So,
what made it special was the portability. That was it.
That made it special for you.
Still portable.
No.
Yeah, I get that for you. You're right. You're right. For you don't care about that.
The king needs his Amiibo.
I think all you frauds out there that was yelling out, it can do all this. It's a magical system. It's fantastic. Oh, you took all that away? I still want it anyway. You, my friend.
I don't want it. I'm just happy it's gonna sell gangbusters.
Why are you happy though?
This is great.
This is great. It's fantastic. I just want the world to burn. That's all.
Yes, we just want y'all to burn with it. Let's get Salty here, man. I'm very curious. Salty, what about Nintendo guys here in the realm? How did you feel about the Switch Lite? Like, what's your thought process on it? You know what I'm saying? Is this a genius move by Nintendo? Where you at with this?
I have a lot to say about this, honestly, because it just Nintendo knows how to do business. Let's just put it that way, okay? It's a perfect time to put this out because they're getting it in the market before Pokemon Sword and Shield is going to be coming out. And let's be honest, the majority of people that play Pokemon play it portably, okay? So that's number one business move. The reason why this is coming out when it is, don't get it twisted. It's for this game. They want it to sell as much as it can. They will bundle it together. This one has about 3 to 7 hours more battery life, which is amazing for portable players, right?
Half an hour.
Okay, you got a half?
No, it has a half an hour. It doesn't have 3 to 4 hours battery life. It has one half.
But it's dependent on the game that's played.
True. So I'm just stating that it has a half an hour battery.
I'm good playing Final Fantasy, right?
And I don't mean to jump in it, but 3 to 4 hours is not a true thing. It's a half an hour. It's 6. The regular Switch is 6.5 hours. That is 7.
Continue, Salty.
From what I've read, it just says the original Nintendo Switch suffers from short battery because obviously you have the rumble, right? You're taking that out. You're taking a lot of features out to save the battery life. But I have a lot of negatives with this as well. From a business perspective, it's going to move consoles, so it makes sense for Nintendo. But I've experienced some issues with my Switch, and I play it a lot, right? I probably play it more than most. I had some drifting issues on multiple Switches. I had a warranty. So for the first Switch that I had, I just took it back, got a new one. But like some of the games don't have cloud saves, right? So Splatoon, you lose all your progress. So I didn't want to do that again. Fortunately, I looked up some do-it-yourself methods to fix the drift, and I did that. But they don't have Joy-Cons on this, right? So nobody from Nintendo has come out and said, hey, we had this issue with the Joy-Cons where we fixed it with this model. Who knows if it's going to have the same issues. Now, if it does and you don't get a warranty and your shit starts drifting, you cannot take this off. It's stuck on the actual device. Right. So number one, that's an issue. And also your screen's a lot smaller. You cannot dock it. You cannot put a Pro controller on there. You cannot play all games, right? It's not going to be playing every game.
The 1-2 switch stuff, like motion sense, like the arm. I mean, the arms actually can play regular, but I know where you're going.
Yeah, so I love my Switch because even though I play it a majority portably, the thing is like if my kid wants to play, we can play on the TV. You know what I'm saying? We can pick it up. We can. The thing that got me to buy a Switch to come back into the ecosystem was the ability to do that. I wasn't forced to play, just portably because that didn't really draw me in. If it would have, I would have been buying a Vita and some other shit, or the 3DS. I never bought
Lord State language. Lord State. So good, brother. Keep it going. Keep it going. Good point.
I never did that, but at this point, it's just about options for people, right? They want to be able to reach the market. The $200 difference between $200 and $300, the $100 difference there is huge for people.
Yeah,
they're gonna reach a market, and like I said, it's just gonna pole vault them into the end of this year with Pokemon. Oh my God, the numbers are just gonna explode.
See, that's why. See, you just led into my point, which is, because being that there's some disagreeing lords here on this panel about the success of this thing. I just want to know if anyone put their knees on the line for if anybody else gonna win an MPD from September on.
Oh no! Oh, you're out of your mind.
I think everyone think this is so worthless and featureless.
I think there's a good chance Nintendo wins every MPD this year and next.
That's a great idea.
Oh man, Lunkin Lurker for you, King. That's for you. Listen, I can't read
once again,
I'll read it.
Once again, Nintendo is frauding and further displaying why the Switch is indeed trash in the bush.
Dingleberry. Hashtag Dingleberry.
I used to like you, Lunkin. Don't be that way,
Lunkin. I feel you, and it is disheartening the way
King, you're messing up. Lunkin, you're on something.
Way Nintendo pimps out their crowd. And I gotta tell you, man, they will give you every iteration of the same thing any way they can give it to you. And just like Salty said, this is made. They don't really care about you per se, and it's all about none of these companies do. All us fans out here with this crap talking about my Xbox and my PlayStation and my Nintendo. No, they're here to make a buck, Joe, and this is exactly what it is. This is the ultimate make a buck. Strip away everything that made that nice. If you thought that everything that was in there for $100 that they would remove, that was just $100. I believe that you could have took away more money. I believe that system should have came in $50 with a $50 game, to be honest with you, because you took away everything that made it special. You took away the screen size. You took away every functionality that made it nice. So sell it for $50. And with a $50 game, make that thing free because you took away everything that was nice. I'm sorry, you're just getting a box. And
you just say sell it for $50 and then give away a $50 game.
Yeah, you know why? Because you took away everything that made it what it is.
The regular Switch still exists, bro. Like,
yeah, but for $200, I think it's too much for $200. I think it's too much.
Oh my God.
I agree with the price point. I think 200 is a nice round number, but I would have liked to have seen it 150.
150.
I would have definitely liked to have seen it 150. But again, it's just gonna kill because the thing is, this is what Nintendo does, right? They release a dumbed down version for cheaper when they need to push on, and it's the ideal time with Pokemon. I know Salty mentioned a bundle. There are Pokemon versions coming out. Yeah. But they specifically said the game is not bundled in.
They're doing the joint when you buy the pre package.
Yeah, they're doing whatever 3 colors they're coming out with at launch, and then they have the Pokemon Sword and Shield versions of that as well. But those versions don't come with the game.
When are we gonna start calling Nintendo out on their BS?
That's kind of grimy. That's grimy.
Y'all like to say Sony never supports anything. Nintendo had a 3DS, took out the 3D.
And they call it the 2DS.
Yo, these dudes stay giving you something, and it's hot for 2 days, and they be like, "Nah, we ain't gonna support that."
They just want to get you in the ecosystem. Last year, look, I bought an $80 2DS for my nephew, no clamshell, just one piece that doesn't fold, with Mario. What was it? The new Super Mario Brothers 2, $80. He is happy as a pig in slop.
All right, hold on. Got to pay the bill real quick. Shout out to the $5 super chat from Philly Eagle. He doing that green there, King. Nintendo or Pit, they pull out stuff at crazy prices. They lay backhand and say, "You better bring me that money." And fans send them the money. So you saying that
the hustle, Philly Eagle? You can't knock the hustle. You know, working out here.
I want to thank all 95 people, 97 now, for watching. Definitely hit that like button.
Yeah, hit those.
You hit that like button. King loves the Switch, man. So you hit that like button.
Don't listen to that. Listen, if that's holding you back from hitting that like, then you just don't do it. But I'm gonna tell you right now, hit that like button if you want to hear what I'm gonna say next.
Look, we finish up too because Saab, I just real quick question to your point. Do you think this effectively now, Switch Lite effectively kills off the 3DS now?
The only thing that can kill off the 3DS is Nintendo not making any more games for it. They just have to decide they're not going to make any more games for it. Once they do that, yeah, the 3DS will die. But again, this on its own, no, I don't necessarily think so.
Guys, I want the world to hear me right now. I want every last person out here. I want you to go up to the mountaintops. I want you to get your credit cards. I want you to log in right now, and I want you to kill off this Switch Mini. I want every last person to buy a 2DS and a 3DS. I want the sales numbers for 2DS and 3DS to spike so far through the roof that the Switch Mini never makes. I want a DOA. I want it to die on arrival. All right. So please, everybody, go out there right now, even if you just purchase it for 1 month and bring it back on the 29th day. Please go out and do this.
So you support the Mini?
No, I support the killing of the Mini. I want the Mini dead.
Oh my God.
How would you prefer to kill this Mini?
I want them to buy more 3DS and more 2DSs. So when they see the sales, Nintendo has no choice other than to kill the Mini before the Mini even gets to our shores. Let it die.
All right. I just want to state that here at the Iron Lords podcast, we do not support killing a console for no reason.
Exactly. Anyway, I'll finish it and we move on because the kid got to get his topic and then get at it. Listen, man. I mean, at the end of the day, another genius move by Grandpa. He got you back in your pocket once again. It's great game. Now, but all jokes aside, I do hear what y'all saying. I mean, it is limited features. There's no doubt. This is not going to be for everyone. For everyone who has that existing Switch, for all that functionality, keep your Switch. You're fine. This is not for you.
Are you buying?
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
What color you going to get?
I'm probably thinking about the gray one. I'm thinking about the gray.
Oh, you ain't gonna get the vomit.
The vomit yellow.
The vomit yellow. But listen, like this thing, obviously we know it's gonna sell. But for me, I'm a big proponent of a dedicated D-pad. That's one of my big pet peeves with the current Switch. That's not a D-pad. It's literally buttons in the D-pad form. So that's number one. And I'll be honest, like Sav, I play exclusively portable. Yeah. I'm never docking the Switch at home when I got Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. It's not happening. I don't want to see the 480i. I don't want to see none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, sorry. Shout out to Def Sing and Nintendo Stay Finessing Gamers, the kings of it. Listen, man, this is not for you, Def Singer, and that's cool. Not for us. You know what I'm saying? It's not for us, but there's guys like that who only play it portably. Now, this is what King, I have to give it up to King, though. For all these features being removed, right? Amiibo, IR, Rumble, not docking, besides the price, my major issue is that battery life need to be much longer than this.
Yeah.
How are we only getting a half hour to an hour more? Like, that's a little suspect to me. I thought for sure we'd get 2 hours more. And yeah, the screen is a little small. Shout out to Kai Batu. He was like, I don't know, man. I don't know, Cog, that the screen a little smaller.
It's smaller, yeah. And I have issues with it anyway as it is. So.
As it is. Now, here's my thing. Now, as long as they don't Vita 2.0 us. Now, remember when Vita first came out and had the OLED. Remember the OLED? And then they came out with version 2 and it was
plastic
paste.
The battery was crazy.
Like, I gotta see. So maybe they are keeping that screen It's just a little smaller.
No, it's the same exact screen with the same exact resolution. The thing with it is the chipset that's inside.
Hyena did. You know it look like 480i Hyena did. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody's talking? I didn't see that.
Oh my god.
Okay. Listen, it's a different chipset. The chipset that's inside the original Switch is called the Logan. And the new Switch Mini, the standstill, is called Miyoko. And that's a direct take on Wolverine's lineage. They're companion chipsets. She is faster than Wolverine, faster than the Logan chipset. If y'all can go to Digital Foundry, you will see a great video up on the topic of the Switch, so you can get a deeper understanding of the chipset.
Aren't they also replacing that chipset in the original Switch? Like, you're going to start seeing whatever's coming off the production line is going to have that new chipset.
Which led to my next point. And like, do you think now, Solve and King, like, do we still think Switch Pro is coming? Do you think that the success of this would be so much that there's no need? Like, where do we think Switch Pro now?
I still think it comes because they always do that. They give you a lesser version and then they give you an improved version. And what's going to happen is the original Switch is going to drop by $50 at least. And then the Lite is going to drop by $50 at least. And then the new premium version will be back at that $300 price point, whatever it is. I don't know how premium is going to be over the original Switch because they're not big on big upgrades. So it still may be disappointing, but I still see it coming.
Salty, do you think that the Switch Pro comes out at the same time as the PlayStation 5 and or the Scarlet, or do you think it comes out a little bit after, once they die down with all the rhetoric with the new system?
I think it's going to be coming out after, because you don't want to go neck and neck, because like the pro version of the Switch is not going to be anywhere close to what these are. So you don't want to confuse people or try to say you're in some kind of a power battle with you know what I'm saying?
I could see it March, April. I mean, who's to say that's not ready to go?
I think March.
Yeah, but I agree with Salty, not at the same.
I don't think they're going to want to come out afterwards. I think they're going to come out before.
Yeah, they're going to get ahead of that. Continue. So.
Either way, it's just where there's smoke, there's fire. So we've been hearing about the Pro. We heard about the Mini. Like I like the Mini version. I don't know how long ago I heard this. I saw it like a long time ago, over a year. So we've been hearing about the Pro. The Pro is just, it's going to come out, but they do their own thing, you know, so they'll put it out. They need to put it out when it's separate, you know, but I'm interested to see what Pro really means to Nintendo, you know, like what's going to
be. Yeah, right. Listen, I need Tegra too, man. I need Tegra too badly. Yeah. But let's move on. King's, he's got to run, so I'm gonna get his topic in now. We'll change the order. King, man, you got a phenomenal one. What is going on in China, man?
All right, so this is courtesy of Randall Thor, friend to the realm, fellow Lord.
Salute.
One of the content creators that I actively watch and I go to for my information, along with Colt Eastwood and Dela.
Salute.
Now he put up something, because I really never paid it no mind. I never paid attention because I don't like to get political on the podcast. I don't think that is our platform, and I don't think that is our lane. I think you guys come here to have a good time.
Facts.
And sometimes when you get political, you start to get very divisive.
Yes.
But this is where something comes and it actively affects us.
Facts.
All right. So the new administration, or the current administration that is in office right now, is doing these things called tariffs. Now, I've never heard of tariffs before this administration, or I've never paid it any mind. They became a great tool for this current administration. Now, the fact that China and the current administration in America is at a trade war, there's tariffs that is being put upon China, where it's taxing their imports. Right now, China in turn has put tariffs on America, which is taxing our exports. Right now, we import damn near everything from China. Right, we owe China trillions of dollars. Now, this is where this affects us. Our consoles are being made in the same plant in China. The PlayStation, the Xbox, and the Nintendos are all being made in the same plant, like right next to each other. Okay. Now to export these to us, to import these systems to us, it will cost at least, from what they're saying, the estimates is like $200 to $300 more than we were actually really going to pay. So this is going to affect us in the bottom line. Who's ready to pay for a new Xbox Scarlet $800, $900 edition? Who's ready to play for the PlayStation 5? Because a lot of you guys, them broke guys out there, got that PlayStation because it was cheaper. And you know, that $100 made a big difference. It made a big difference to me when I purchased 4 of them. So now that it's $800 to $900, if the systems was to drop now with the current tariffs in place, it will force the prices of these systems to go through the roof. And my question to you guys is, how do you feel about it? And what, we really can't do anything to stop this.
Yeah, well, I mean, real quick.
Also, sorry.
No, go
the expanding on the title, on the topic, Microsoft and Sony is actively looking for plants in America where they can offload some of the cost in producing these new systems. But this is where you come into problems with inferior quality and different type of issues, because if something is made in the same place, you know you're going to get the same product, you're going to get the same stuff. But when you got dual SKUs, one being made in America and one being made in China, something's going to go wrong.
Yeah, you're talking about like a quality of life stuff. Quality control stuff. Yeah, no, I get you. And that was the point I wanted to make before we give it to the rest of the Lords.
Oh, we got 102 views.
Oh, salute, baby. salute. Definitely, man. Hit that like button, y'all, please.
I like how you saw that. That wasn't color.
No, you know what it is? It's so amazing that I'm watching you guys grow every week and come here and talk with us and listen to us. I really appreciate you guys every week. Oh man, you have no idea. Y'all make my heart sing.
Yeah, man. I much love. Definitely seen it. Shout out to Def Sing with the $2 super chat. I feel for my USA Lords. Hope I remain unaffected. The last part of the point that you made, King, I want to get is that as a result, the big three seem to be kind of like taking action, right? They seem to be like now.
I was told this was already squashed. Like
from my understanding now, Nintendo has moved a portion of its Switch manufacturing out of China to Vietnam. So there are some proactive strikes going on. So Salty, let's get you going. This is a great topic. I know Saltiest Gaming podcast, you guys talked about it as well. What's your whole feeling on this whole tariff thing in consoles?
So we talked about this multiple times on the podcast. Donald Trump's plans to increase tariffs on goods produced in China. The thing is the idea of it, whatever, we're not going to get into politics of it, but the fact that Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony made an official letter and sent that to the U.S. government talking about how it would affect technology and prices is insane to me. When I saw that, the alarm started just going off, right? Because the thing is like, they're not going to just get together and make a letter for no reason, right?
That's serious.
Yeah, they know what's going on, and even if they kind of got squashed because Trump kind of took a step back from it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that eventually it could happen. So that's why you're seeing the migration. That's what we're hearing, because it was cheap to produce in China, and that's why all the consoles were being made over there. When I was doing my research originally, it was hard to kind of get the 100% of where stuff was going on, because the PlayStation 4 definitely was being made over in China. But you look at Microsoft, it was like they have plants all over the world and stuff like that, but the majority is made in China. The fact of the matter is it's going to be interesting going forward, because you have Google Stadia out there, right? They're starting their thing, and we got cloud gaming on the horizon. The thing is you could say what you want about Google Stadia. It doesn't require the hardware that these next gen systems are going to require. And if these tariffs do go into effect, it is going to affect everything. It's going to affect everything, man. Because like King was saying, who's going to go out there and buy, for the majority of basic console owners, who's going to just go out there and pay $800 for a system? And that could be a reality, and it affects gaming in general and what direction things are going. So it's interesting going forward. Maybe not in the short term. Maybe it's going to take some time, but I think eventually it's going to have an effect on the way gaming is going. It has to. And I've been clowning on Google Stadia a lot, because of some of their issues. But if they get their infrastructure and their first party together and they're able to do their thing, if you had a choice between 4K gaming on Stadia or paying $900 for a next gen console, I think you might pause and think of it. You know what I'm saying?
No, I just want to say one thing. Oh my God,
EcJaxson in the building.
My
what up, family?
What up, EJ?
Coming in through for us. How you doing, brother?
Chilling.
Do we get you at E3, brother? Do we get you?
It's plans already starting in place. Already talking.
Okay, all right. Listen. And on the real, you. Yes. Above all, you and Brad, you guys were open arm to us, and remember that extension is all the way given to you. All right, so I'm letting, and you don't want to miss this one.
This one's big.
You don't want to miss.
This is the one, man.
Where we at though? You don't want to miss where we gonna be at because it's boy. I just want to say this one thing on this topic, right? Do you think that once the tariffs and stuff went out, the contingency plan, because they already saw what Stadia was doing, that Microsoft can hold off on their system and get that cloud out there, that xCloud? Because if the xCloud is giving you the same functionalities and power of the Scarlet, and they can come in at that cheap price, because the prices they're talking about is $60 to $100.
The problem with that, King, is right now they're at 1080p max with the xCloud, and that's based off of the server racks that they have. Right. So they are gonna increase that, right? They're gonna put it up to Scarlet levels, but that's not gonna be for a while, So
first the trial. I just want to get you. I want before I give it to EJ. I want to touch on something also, Salty, you had mentioned in reference to the seriousness of this public document. Again, this is signed by Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony as a joint thing. Right. And some of the bullet points, 3 key bullet points, they were like, in particular, tariffs on video game consoles would injure consumers, video game developers, retailers, and console manufacturers. 2, put thousands of high value, rewarding U.S. jobs at risk. And 3, stifle innovation in our industry and beyond. And this document is at length. I gotta speak the whole. I gotta reach out the whole, get them back on here, because I really would love the legal aspect as far as where else they're going with it. But that's how serious this is. When the big 3 are coming together to create a document to say, hey, U.S. government, could you please change this? We've got an issue. So I want to get EcJaxson, then we get Solvin. So Eric, what's your feeling with this whole thing on tariffs? How, as far as the seriousness with it, and just where do you stand on it? And do you think even like something like Google Stadia might benefit as a result if this stuff is still going on?
No, I think, let me answer the latter part of your question. Yeah, I think something like that could give Stadia a leg up when there's no hardware involved.
Right.
So automatically off the rip with that. And like King said, I'm reading up and learning more about the whole tariff scenario and what they all mean. All I know is I know that they've already had effects on products that we're already buying, like here. If you walk into a grocery store, you walk out with 2 bags, it's $80. You're like, yo, all I bought was some oatmeal. What's up? Crazy. So you're already feeling that. So no, I don't think anybody, no matter what your pockets look like, want to walk in and pay upwards to $800 to $1,000 for a console.
Yeah,
facts. And we were already seeing like crazy pricing going on, like in the PC market. So imagine consoles are meant to be walk out and walk to the store, walk out, plug in, let's go at a call, at a value. Nobody got time to be paying that much for a console. So like you said, when the big 3 are writing letters, that tells you something's real.
Well, real quick, EJ, to that point, shout out to Death Sing in the chat with the $5 super chat. He says, remember, no console left behind. One X can run old games. That whole forwards and backwards compatibility that people clowned could benefit Xbox.
Def, if you're gonna say something, Simon?
Yeah, yes, I get that. I get the fact that maybe if the prices are through the roof and people can't upgrade in the time frame that they'd like to, that you can extend the life of this generation with the X1X. But I think now, since you've already announced the next generation, it's a hard sell to tell people who are psyched about moving forward, like, yeah, you could stay with your old console another year or 2 or something like that. I think it's a hard for people who didn't plan on upgrading right at the beginning of the next generation, it's fine. But for people who are excited about it, telling them that, okay, you have this other option that you already have, that's not doing anything for me in particular.
Well, I'm gonna say something to the comment the Dev Stinger said in the super chat. Also, I just want to just piggyback on it real quick. He said forward compatibility. Sorry, brother. That X is a doorstop. It's done right there. All right. So everything behind it, yeah, you could bring that behind it stuff forward. But as far as anything going forward, no. What would be that next system would be able to do X stuff. So X is where it lies. So if it stops right there, you're not doing any ray tracing and you're not doing any hot stuff.
Right.
Your joint is dead at the door.
I mean, theoretically, a lot of that stuff, let's say that first year and a half of stuff could run on the X, but it would be considerably inferior to what you were seeing on PC, like super inferior to it.
No doubt. That's what's up. Let's get Addict, man. Where you at with this, man? Would you be willing to pay any increased costs?
Man, you guys know exactly how. That's why King over there almost had an aneurysm when you said that.
Button push.
Look, you ready to spend that 800?
Anaconda ain't no problem. Remember, King? He had his chest out. He was like,
we talk about $500. You talking about $800?
Hey,
you said you was about that Anaconda life, so we won't see where it's.
Well, now I have to be about that Anaconda life because you know what, Carter? Look, at the end of the day, mess with me. Because I will just upgrade my PC and call it a day. Like,
you go PC. You ain't about that console.
I got a Switch too, man. I'll buy that. Well, you know, I want to point out a little bit because Cognito didn't even remotely ask me my opinion on the Switch Lite.
Oh man, my bad.
I'm actually for the Switch Lite and I'm buying it. But anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep going. We don't need to talk about that too much.
You get that yellow joint.
Because you were talking a lot during, so I'm like, did he get everything off? So I should
get that Pokemon version.
You get that Pokemon version, yeah.
At the end of the day, when it comes to this, it's like I've already been told it's already been backed off a little bit, just like Salty said earlier. I don't think this is really going to happen because politics is about who got money, who could pay, who can grease people's hands, and who can get stuff pushed. And there is no one that probably could do it more effectively than the big three. So, like,
they just moved their production to Vietnam.
Yeah. My question with that is that does the console argument even move the needle? Like, if speaking specifically to Trump, right? Speaking specifically to Trump. I don't think he cares about the consoles. If you tell him, "Oh, the video games aren't going to sell," he'll be like, "Yeah, whatever." I think the way Microsoft needs to approach it is going to affect PCs. It's going to affect Windows. Right. I think Sony has to approach it more so from it's going to affect TVs. It's going to affect stereos. It's going to affect that. Nintendo. They
don't need to do any of that. They just need a lobby.
But here's the thing. They've already like this document is long as hell, y'all. But three of the parts are it's like one of their talking points are companies in video game industry drive U.S. economic growth and technological innovation. That's a big point of this is their document. Then part two, video game consoles are highly specialized products with complex supply chains. This is all their arguments, and it's like this document. I gotta get Hogue. I must reach out to Hogue, and then he says tariffs could hinder or delay technological innovation in a broad range of applications beyond gaming. So they're approaching it for the three-prong approach outside of just how the video game industry, they're talking about how like this could have tremendous ramifications on other things. So and the last point, here's the fifth one. Imposing tariffs on video game consoles would not be practical or effective to obtain the elimination of China's problematic IP practices. So they're trying to attack it from that angle as well. And look, we got the signatures of Vice President, Microsoft Corporation. You got Nintendo America's Devon Pritchard, Jennifer Liu from Sony Interactive Entertainment. These are high level names, y'all. This is on the corporate side. Like this is very, very serious.
And from what I understand, they actually held off on certain tariffs that would have really affected it right now. So that was when he went to North Korea.
Right.
They held off on a lot of things. I mean, listen, I do not ever want to get political. And if we are offending anyone at this point in time with talking political stuff, we're just talking to it to get you to understand that this is going to really affect us.
Video games.
Yes.
Right? No, absolutely. Yeah, go ahead.
There's a comment by Aaron in the chat. He's saying, main important question is, does it affect the
Shout out to Aaron being selfish with UK. Salute.
Yeah, see, the thing is, it will affect everyone around the world, because if prices are increasing in the US, then they'll increase around the world. It's just they can't have one price for one area in general. So in general, it will just go up around the world. That's just the way it would happen.
Yeah.
So that's a wrap for Brazil then, man. They already can't afford it. So they're just like, we're done.
Yeah. Your system might cost your system might cost $4,000.
We got to monitor. King, man, shout out to you on this topic. This topic is phenomenal. It's just a situation we're gonna have to monitor. We're gonna have to see how this thing plays out. We see steps being taken by the big three, and we'll see if these tariffs go through, or if they don't, great. If they do, then it'll be a situation where there's gonna have to be contingency plans and people moving manufacturing. You just hope, like King said, it doesn't affect that quality, right? The build quality.
Yeah.
You don't want Red Ring
2.0. I don't know. Listen, I don't want let me give you a weird name. I don't want Delroy putting together my PlayStation 5
3DO.
No, I don't want it to be made in the Bronx at the plant down the block. I don't want Delroy and them to be putting in my chipsets. And let me tell you something. Listen,
with that PS5 by Delroy,
I don't want the Delroy edition. All right, so if I see at the bottom it's made in America, I might have to step off from that right there until they can prove. Because when systems start catching fire and overheating, y'all don't really understand these tariffs are serious out here, man.
You gotta stop doing Delroy.
Delroy can't be making my systems, man. The last time we got a controller made by Delroy, it wasn't a good thing, man.
You don't want your Switch made by Calvin?
No, I do not want the Calvin edition.
Because Calvin is entitled to his lunch break. About your CPU.
Because Delroy ain't sitting there looking at the clock speeds. So you got to make sure that Delroy don't get his hands on the DDR RAM.
Your boss said Delroy went to ITT Tech. We good, fam. We good.
Delroy and Calvin do not work weekends.
We savages out here. Let's move on, man. King, salute for this one. I know if you got to roll, you got to roll.
Yes,
but man, enjoy your anniversary, brother. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying?
Congratulations.
You know what I'm saying? Congratulations. Work.
Yeah, it's the anniversary of Benji's birthday, so I'm gonna actually sit there and
do it up, brother.
Cut a little cake for my boy.
That's what's up.
And give a little shout out. Probably open that box, but
you already know when you're ready, brother. When you're ready.
It's his birthday, so I'm gonna do that.
Already know.
Yo, you guys, it's been a great day. Salty, I wish I could be able to stay today. Eric J, thank you for jumping in my seat. Yo, do my stuff, man. Throw people in the bushes. Tell them who do that for you. Eric J, get out here, baby.
I got you.
There we go. Hold it down, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Catch y'all later.
No doubt, you already know. So we're gonna move on while the king gets his swerve on. Lord Addict, you are up. And some Final Fantasy 7 talk.
Actually, you want to swap? Because remember, I gotta get going. Too.
Oh yeah, you gotta get. This is a crazy day today. That's right. So let's swap. That's right. Solve, you up. Let's get what's going on with InXile, man.
Okay, so shout out to WCCF Tech for their article on InXile. They talked to the Wasteland 3 developer about how things have been going with the game since they were made part of Xbox Studios. And what was most interesting about what they said is that it's basically how they feel that the collaboration has been great since they got there. They've basically echoed what other small studios have said. Well, all studios in the Xbox fold have said is that basically Xbox at this point is not trying to step in and control anything about the product that they're making. They're letting them be developers. They're letting them make the game that they want to make, and they're trying to support them in any way possible. So one thing that we've always criticized, thinking Activision for, EA for, sort of the boardroom getting into the design room and making decisions and affecting the games that we love to play. So they made it very clear that they've had the opportunity to make the game that they want to make. And beyond that, they've said that because of this new collaboration, that they're making a better game that they would have been able to make on their own. And specifically, they talked about the cooperation between first-party studios, which is something that we've heard a lot from. Like when you talk about Sony and Sony Santa Monica and Naughty Dog and all of these studios, when you talk about them sharing with one another, even not first party stuff, even second party exclusive stuff to PlayStation, like Kojima and stuff like that, Death Stranding, things of that nature. The collaboration between these studios is such where they're sharing their tech, their ideas back and forth in a way that benefits all of these games. And it's something you don't really see. Like we've talked about how Nintendo studios don't really work with each other unless they're actually working together on a game. Beyond that, they're very sort of isolated. Same thing, we've had criticisms about third-party studios. We talked about how Bethesda came out with, Fallout 4, and it seemed like they were a little tone deaf to the things that people wanted new in Fallout, and they basically made Fallout 3 again. So it's like they sort of go into this rabbit hole and don't pay attention to what's going on around them. So this collaboration that EcJaxson is talking about is interesting, because I don't know that we've really seen this before on the Microsoft side. This is something that we haven't really seen from Microsoft, where there's, and this is the literal quote from one of the heads of EcJaxson. It says, "We're sharing with all studios." I mean, we talked to the guys at the coalition. If we're doing something that involves shooting, we're picking up the phone and we're talking to them. If we want to do something with water effects, then we're talking to the Sea of Thieves guy. So he say, so everything is great. I mean, everybody's like kumbaya. And I want to talk about this because, again,
let's just hope none of them smoke.
Yeah, exactly. No smoking. That studio's left out of the fold. Okay. So I think it's interesting because this is the first time from Microsoft that we really see that they're really doubling down on this sort of familial sort of sentiment between their studios and sharing back and forth. And I think it's only going to benefit every single game coming out of these studios, because when you have so much expertise across different genres in your portfolio, it would be stupid to keep them isolated from one another.
This is deep, man. I like what I'm hearing. So before I jump, I got to get Lord Salty in here and get EcJaxson next, because this is new. This is new kind of talk. I'm not used to this. So Salty, man, I know I brought this to you in the DMs. Like, where you at with this? With this InXile revealing things behind the scenes?
It just sounds like nothing but good things to me, honestly, because all these companies have things that they specialize in, so if they're going to be able to share their knowledge and information going back and forth, I think that's some of the reason why they're trying to get some of these developers to get in close proximity with each other. The new studio, what's it called? The huge one.
What's that, the Initiative?
The Initiative, yeah, they're in California and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's a good thing to do this, and I honestly wish it would have been done before, but
facts for real.
If you have some things that you want to improve on, like you say in the water, right? Get some water talk to the people that are experts in it, and then that just takes your games to another level. I think it's amazing. I think that they're showing that they're having the ability to have the freedom as well, and they're liking what's happening behind the scenes, because some people worried about that because there's a stigma out there with Microsoft that they meddle with their developers and stuff like that, which isn't true, especially with the new game, Ninja Theory's game, right? They're like, oh man, they forced them to be multiplayer when that wasn't the case, So I think this is good for the future in the long run with the first party studios and for Game Pass in general, because I think that they're going to be able to do what they want, and if they have issues, they will improve upon those and put out better quality games. No
doubt. Lord EcJaxson, I gotta speak to EJ because I see your Twitter, brother, and I see they come for you. You used a great analogy in reference to like students and teaching, right? And just like of what is expected from the studios and stuff like that. And I think me and you kind of same, but we're gonna have that tough love, right?
Right.
For the Xbox Game Studios until we see that quality. But when you hear stuff like this, does this move you in any way? When you hear InXile talking about they're pooling resources and stuff like that, like what's your feeling about hearing this kind of stuff from Xbox Game Studios?
There can never be anything negative from recognizing culture building.
Yes.
Right. That's the first level of culture building, is saying like there are things, we have all these resources, why not use them? Right. We're not going to keep what we're doing hidden from everybody and keep it because it's ours. No, if you have that network, use it. You know, it's like, we're not strong in doing this effect, but hey, these guys are. I mean, as a designer, I do that all the time. It's like, I don't know how to do this. Let me hit my boy up because like he's an ace at doing, you know, like how do I get this line work to look right in Illustrator, you know, or Photoshop, or whatever the case may be. That it's a beautiful thing to hear that kind of thing. And you want that studio culture. Like we've heard it like from the Sony side, like, yeah, they do talk to each other, but at the same time, guess what they do? They push each other.
Yes.
That's what you want, you know, and to hear that that's happening early and already, that's a great thing.
Absolutely. You know what, Addict, man, what are you feeling with InXile saying these kind of statements at Xbox Game Studios?
I mean, it's cool. I actually have to see. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do if you don't present your product to be good at E3.
You guys give it a tough love. Give it a tough love. I gotta respect it though.
Like cool, Exile is awesome, but I didn't know what the hell they were showing at E3. So they could be making an RPG, a first-person shooter. It could be making a racing game. I wouldn't have known. Like let's
pump the brakes. We still got to pump the brakes.
How about Microsoft in general learn how to communicate better? How about that? Like it's like we were talking about the on Brat's podcast. We were talking about the whole, you know, whose fault is it over not showing campaign? I'm like, look, sure,
I heard
Coalition got something to say about that. But at the end of the day, it's like Microsoft approved that. That's their multi-million-dollar stage. Like,
shout out to Beast Games Life. He said this is signs that Xbox Studios is evolving. Do you think it's at least a step in the right direction at it?
Oh, it's an amazing step in the right direction. But you know, if you can have the best workers in the world, but if the management ain't on point, then it don't matter. Like,
I feel you. Listen,
I just got to see improvement, man. Like, you know, last year was great for E3, and if you really want to get technical, was it really great? We had the studio announcements that made it amazing, but besides that, you know, they didn't really show a whole lot. And then this year, we ain't even go into that. I have faith in Microsoft. You know, I think that they can, as long as they can get. I don't even have an analogy for it. I'm just going to say, as long as Microsoft can start to really, I'm hoping on my end that it's one of those things where they're holding the majority of their ammo for next gen, because what's the point in shooting a target that you can't see? Like,
that is generation already L anyway. No, I feel you say, look, you know, it's one of them things, man. Oh man, is that Lord VG? Is that the Lord of the Weapon Wheel up in here?
What's up, y'all?
What's going on, family? Yo, what's up, man? Salute. We're just talking these topics right quick, man. Glad you could come in and hold us down. Quick question, Lord BG. You know, did you hear the comments from InXile at Microsoft Game Studios? I mean, they just recently started talking about how like they're pooling resources. They're talking to the guys over at Rare and Sea of Thieves as far as water and stuff, and kind of like collaborative stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like for the first time, we're hearing like Xbox Game Studios all in, kind of doing what Sony kind of been doing. You know what I'm saying? In a way, like, did you hear that? Number one, and if not, then like, you know, what's your thought process on that when you're hearing like Microsoft Game Studios kind of trying to work together?
I think it's strange that it hasn't been going on. I guess I always just assumed it's been going on this whole time. I never thought about it. I just thought that's like a given that studios under the same umbrella do.
Well, so they just started to do this. I think a lot of that has to do with BG is like they kind of been working on completely different genres besides Coalition and Halo. Like what's Coalition going to do? Hit a Playground? Like, yo, how do I make this racing game? Like, there's not a whole lot of, but now there's a lot more diversity when it comes to, you know, multiple people working around the same genre that you know, their actual ideals can conflict with each other.
Yeah. I guess a lot of their projects were pretty different, but I think the something that they could have helped each other out with in the past is like direction of their games. Like a lot of these games didn't seem to have a lot of like a clear path of, okay, where are we going with this game? Where is this game headed? And I think that's why a lot of the games, kind of didn't end up as great as they could, because there was just lack of direction. I think they could have helped with that, regardless of genre.
No doubt. Fair enough. Look, man, I'm gonna double down. I think Saul, like, I love the topic, man. I love the topic. Me personally, like, I like to hear stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? Heading into the next generation, them pooling resources, leveraging tech, making sure that they're a cohesive unit. And like BG said, like, kind of surprised, like, this hasn't been going on prior. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you're happy that it's happened now, because in the past, you almost feel like they was operating on their own individual kind of island, right? Yeah, and now it's like, look, if you're trying to build, like EJ was saying, like, you're trying to build this cohesive unit, you're trying to build identity as a brand, as a studio, because that's been Microsoft's Achilles heel. Like, they've always had to outsource and buy, you know what I'm saying, Salty? Like, they've never, you know what I'm saying, like, you kind of got to establish that identity as a brand and say, yo, this is what it is, this is what we're doing. And my last point is, like, I'm kind of with Addict on this part too, which is like, at this point, for all these studios being purchased, all this good, these next generation games better be bangers, man. Like, I need some.
I'm telling you, I considered an L if these games don't deliver anything below an 8.
Not everything will be out of the park, but I need a couple of bangers for all this.
I'm gonna need. All right, so. There's only a couple studios I give a little leeway, like 7.5 to 8, but the majority of these studios better be doing 8 to 8.5s, or I'm gonna write. And the initiative, if it doesn't do it below a 9, it's L there, because they stacked that entire stable like crazy. There's some crazy people working there. They've said stuff like quadruple A, so it's funded. And it's like, so if you, and then they have someone like Daryl, I think his name's Daryl Gallagher, right? It's like, so you have him heading the whole thing. I expect some quality work. That better be the next Naughty Dog studio. Like, at this point.
Real talk. What Attic is saying is almost like when you used to go into Madden and just stack the whole team with the best players, and your rating was 99 through the roof. Every time I see a tweet come in and say, hey, we got this person from this studio that you drafted. So like Attic saying, that game better be home run. There is no.
It better be like game of the year. Like, the moment they show that game, it better be a game of the year contender off the get-go. Like, just 5 minutes of gameplay. Like,
no doubt. Salty, where you at?
I got a lot of flack saying that the next Gears better blow my socks off. And
I saw it. Salty. I saw it.
I got blowback. I got people blocking me, unfollowing me, unsubbing, like, not becoming, taking their Patreon off. I'm like, all right. No, seriously, dude. Like, I was just saying, like, here's the story. I've been with Xbox since forever, right? OG Xbox. I was standing in line at Best Buy in the rain to get the Xbox One. I remember the day clearly, right? And if you look at my gaming history, I played all the exclusives, and I've beaten pretty much all of them, including Halo Wars 2, right? So if anybody's going to talk about the quality of the games needing to be better, I guess I could qualify for that, since I've actually done it. So here's the deal. Like, when I'm saying Gears 5 needs to be at least, this or that for Metacritic, or this or that, it needs to be quality wise. It's not just this game. It's like everything. It's the whole big picture. It's the direction of the company in whole. So yeah, if I say this is the final thing for me, that's personally where I draw the line, because Gears is one of your pillar franchises.
Facts.
And you had Gears 4 to play it safe, and you've been saying all these things. So I need to see an 88 or higher, man. It needs to be better. You need to have Game of the Year nominees, man. I don't want to wait till 2023 or 2024.
Just out of curiosity, I want to ask the panel. First, let me pay this bill real quick. $5. Oh no, it's not dollar. I think that's pound, right? £5 donation from Death Singer. RPGs are good. Be good for Xbox now, though. Obsidian and ExIle are masters. I wouldn't be surprised if they help on Fable. They don't need help on racers. I don't know. Did they come out openly and say that they talked to Coalition?
Yeah, no, bro. Yeah, listen, statement's off. Tell them that statement. I've never seen this from Xbox Game Studio. Like sharing with all the studios. Did we talk to the guys at Coalition?
Yeah, the statement was, the exact quote was, we're sharing with all the studios. I mean, we talked to the guys at the Coalition. If we're doing something that involves shooting, we'll pick up the phone and talk to them. Like,
it's kind of like the kind of game they make. Like they must be making something else, because it kind of like the gameplay doesn't fit. If that makes sense.
We may be attributing it like to Wasteland, but the reality is it's got to be also future projects as well. It can't be just what the immediate thing that's coming out as well.
And I wouldn't mind just going back to the super chat. I wouldn't mind Obsidian making helping with Fable. I don't want ExIle because they're completely different genre, and if you have devs talking to each other like that, sometimes
it's not just that. I know where you're going at it, but I'm just talking about like just from a look at it from like a.
Well, you're talking about from a standpoint in general experience.
Like say if there's a studio, and let's use your beloved Fable, right? And there's a studio in part of that umbrella. Like we know, as much as you can say whatever you want to say about Sea of Thieves, we know that water is lit. Like you cannot take that away. So whoever's on their water physics team, you need to get in pocket with them dudes. You know
and when you talk about the RPG mechanic stuff, I mean, you gotta talk to Obsidian and InXile, because these guys are masters of making deep RPGs. Yes, they're isometric RPGs. They're not visually super impressive RPGs, but the underlying systems I think is a breath of fresh air that Fable could use.
Right.
So I mean, they can help in more ways than what you immediately think they'd be able to help in.
No doubt.
Well, I mean, they can help with just little things like, Coalition. Obviously, if let's say theoretically Fable was being made, no, they need to stay away from talking about anything political. That's for sure. But theoretically, let's say that Fable was being made on the Unreal Engine, like. Playgrounds would benefit from talking through the Coalition, because a lot of them worked on all the old gears on that system.
No. Let me get BG in real quick, because BG, like you hear all this talk, right? Am I wrong to be like, yo, I need bangers next generation from Xbox Game Studios? Like, am I bugging?
No, man. I mean, absolutely. I mean, I'm expecting a lot of things from all studios in general next generation, because it's. As far as I see it, there is no more like when it comes to hardware limitations. There's not really any anymore for y'all with what they're getting, right? So there's plenty of overhead for y'all to like do new things and get things done. And what I mean by like no hardware limitation is like we're at the point where they have much more than they actually need at this point. Like,
Absolutely.
Unless you're trying to be dumb and go for 8K or some nonsense, unreachable nonsense like that. So, the whole resolution and frame rate thing, that's not like a major thing you should be concentrating on no more. It should be the actual quality of the game. So, yeah, I mean, I feel the same way.
Shout out my boy Bone Slave, top of the top. Mid-gen, next gen is when we will see the fire new games.
If there's a mid-gen, next gen, I'm gonna off myself, man. I can't handle no more mid-gen, next gen stuff.
No doubt. Yo, Attic, you want to rock up with your Final Fantasy 7, sir?
Yeah, real quick, let me get up out of here before we start that. Yo, apologies to everybody for having to duck out, but thanks, Salty, for coming through. Thank you, BG, and thank you, AJ, for coming through.
Yo,
I will see you guys next week.
Already no salute, brother. Do your thing. All right, building. Let's get this next thing going, man. Lord,
all right, so look,
get it.
Final Fantasy 7. It was rumored that it was a timed exclusive. Now you could have took the opening promotion and the promotion. Now we have two ways. You could have took it one. Okay, they originally promoted this game as a timed exclusive first on PlayStation, but now that's completely gone. They're not saying that. Usually how that goes is neither one or two ways. One, it's no longer timed exclusive and it's coming out both on each, which that's clearly not the case. Or two, it's no longer timed exclusive and it's a PlayStation exclusive. And it's looking like, as of right now, which there's been plenty of scenarios to where people, the quote that their PR team said, we're no longer What they didn't say no longer. They have no intentions on bringing that game to any platforms at that moment. Now, they said at that moment makes me think that, it's probably still a timed exclusive. It's just Sony, they're real, like, look, if you say something, we coming over there. We pulling up, and we going to bring the whole game. You ain't even going to be around when we get there. So I think what's going on here is it's a timed exclusive for maybe a year, probably a year. And, once you get around to the end of that, you'll start seeing more promotions on the Xbox version. What I'm thinking and what I'm saying is, why is this game even a timed exclusive? This is such a big JRPG game. There's no reason. And I really feel like, Microsoft, especially with these timed exclusives, that they dropped the ball on this one, because this isn't just your average game. This is a game that's been hyped for like 15 years. Like, this isn't the game that you miss out on, even for a year.
It's real stuff. Let's get salty here, man. Like, when you see the stuff with Final Fantasy 7, and them Square Enix doubling down on exclusivity for PlayStation, where's your head at with this? What you think?
Well, it's not the first time that we've seen this kind of vague messaging when it comes to exclusivity and timed exclusives. I think it's just a cutthroat business strategy for PlayStation. They've done it before. Here's a good example of the difference between one company and another. Microsoft, when they had exclusivity for the Tomb Raider, the reboot, the remake, they had a year deal on that, but they told everybody, they didn't come out and say, hey, this is exclusive on Xbox, and just kind of leave it vague. They told everybody, so everybody's like, well, I'll just wait a year and then I'll buy it on PlayStation or whatever. But for these things, it's the way you say things, and it gets people thinking, because a lot of the times, even when they said, hey, you can play it first on PlayStation, people thought it was an exclusive, and they were tweeting me and this and that, and everybody just thought it was an exclusive already. And then some people just kind of have to read between the lines. But at the same time, I tweeted it out, the best way for you to know that you're going to be able to play it, like, because of the messaging, is to buy a PlayStation if you don't have one, or play it on PlayStation, or pre-order it on PlayStation. And that's exactly what they want, because it's a cutthroat mentality. They know everybody wants to play this game. They know the hype behind it. So that's why they made it exclusive. It's a business thing, and they know how to do business. And that's the difference between the two companies right now, especially with marketing and the cutthroat in the nature, So
no doubt. Yo, shout out to Echo for being petty. He said Square is tired of publishing game on Xbox just to sell 14 copies. Yo, they disrespect.
That petty strong. That petty strong.
You got the amount. It's like the only people that would have bought the Xbox version of Final Fantasy is the amount of people watching this podcast.
Yo, it's petty was on fleek. Listen, EJ, man, like, what do you think? Like, you think Salty's on to something too with the verbiage and between how Sony handles their exclusivity versus how Microsoft handles it?
Yeah, I do, but I think at the same time, Square Enix is probably like, yo, we don't have time for Xbox gamers to be saying, I'll wait for it to come to Game Pass.
Oh, damn, EJ!
I'm going for the petty, dog. No, I'm sorry, but because hey, you see it. Oh. You see it out there.
Oh,
right.
EJ shot the shot.
But ultimately, no, I think Salty's definitely onto it. It's one of those things. It's like, it's business, and Sony is all about PlayStation right now, and whatever can get people to focus in on what they're doing. And right now, they're still, for the most part, looking at traditional, like, console means, where Microsoft is kind of going in a different direction with that. So,
can I ask you a question? Because being that you're on Brat Podcast, and media bias always seems to be a discussion on the. I want to ask you a funny question. Like, do you think with the way Sony handles exclusivity and the way, like Salty said, like, when the Rise of the Tomb Raider came out and they kind of got in front of it and they were like, look, it's 1 year, and a lot of people are like, okay, we're gonna wait. Now, when sometimes in the Sony camp, where you see like a game like a Street Fighter, right? Remember when Street Fighter was announced, it was exclusive, and then even like as a Destiny fan, like I've seen things where like Destiny exclusivity, you have to read between the lines to find out like how long is the exclusivity of the content and stuff like that. So, do you think I want to say a double standard in the way exclusivity is presented, or is just the way the companies handle it is different?
I just think, like, again, it's the way that the companies handle it. I think, like, when it comes to exclusive content, I don't think you're going to see that as much anymore. But I still think Sony's going to be about that, getting that third-party exclusive deal, because that puts the focus back on their platform. And dudes can run around being like, "Oh, that's not right. That's not fair." Sony's like, "Get a PlayStation."
Facts. Yeah, you gotta get it. Play it.
Right? Just said, "Yo, you really want this game a year ahead of time? If you really feeling it like that, if you don't have one, you need to rock with one." And it's just, I mean, that's how it has been for the longest. But, you know, it seems like in the last couple of years, we're on this thing where people are like, it's not fair. It's not fair. And it's like, it's business again. And sometimes, and honestly, I wish Phil would go about that.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's like, out of all the stuff that you could have dropped the ball on, you know, making sure kind of your platform, you let Sony come under the skirts and take this timed exclusive. Like,
we don't know what the track. We don't know how much the truck was backed up. We don't know. They got a good relationship. It's not like Sony and Square. Like these guys,
they got a great relationship. But you know, Microsoft's worked with them on timed exclusives before. Microsoft's worked with them on getting Final Fantasy 13, 15. They're about. I think they're about to bring 14. Like they have talking with them too. Like they could have easily. What happened is Sony hit them up first. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Let's get BG in on this, man. Like
I think it is going to other platforms. I definitely think
it is.
Yeah, I just honestly, what I think this is more about than any contract or deal they have with Sony. I think even if there was no deal, I think this would only be on PlayStation right now, just off of the fact that, like, you talking about more than one platform. They barely have this thing finished for one platform. We don't even have the full game. We got to separate it. Like, we don't even know when the rest of the game is coming out. We can't be thinking about like putting this on another platform. That's what I think it's really about. The fact that they know that
resource issue, BG. That's what
we can't even get this out on one yet. So that's what I really think it is.
That's a good point, though. I mean, the fact that this game was ending at Midgar, right? The part one.
Yeah.
So it's like, VG whole thing like, yo, we got to chill with conspiracy theory. They got to get a team together that can just finish the game first.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Now I feel you at VG, man. But what about how Sony handles exclusivity versus how Microsoft handles exclusivity? Like, do you think there's any differences there, like the way Sony do it?
Oh yeah, Sony treats their exclusives like it's the key to the kingdom. Like that's the way to success. Microsoft doesn't see exclusivity as the way to success.
So Sony treats their exclusives like it's their game, and Microsoft treats their exclusives like, all right, you can play it on our stuff, but sooner or later you can play it somewhere else. Yeah,
that's a good point. It's a good point. And Phil has come out openly and said like he doesn't believe in exclusive deals. You know what I'm saying? Like he's actually got in front of that. So it is a different mindset because Sony's the complete opposite. They hold on to it. It's like it's their baby, and they're willing to do that. And the messaging kind of still seems like it's remaining the same.
But let me ask you this, Kyle. Why is it so different in the gaming space versus anything else? Because nobody's mad that they can't get Stranger Things on Amazon Prime.
Oh no, I'm with you, brother. No, listen, don't get it twisted. I am an exclusive content person. Like I am all about having compelling content that's going to make you bend the knee and go pick up that hardware. Like
I think you're seeing a lot of that when it comes to particular like they're in like their first party stuff. Like I don't expect to only see Blacklist on Netflix.
Right.
Obviously that's not their stuff. Obviously they signed to get that on their platform, but they didn't make that. Right. So I expect that somewhere else.
Like I don't know if y'all been watching Dapper Dan been doing a press run this past week. And one of the things he said, and whether or not people just agree with it or disagree with it, something not being accessible to everyone and not being available to everyone gives it value.
Absolutely.
That's just the way it works, whether you agree with it or not.
That's why I think that a lot of new IPs should debut as an exclusive on a console because it gets a lot more highlight.
It's interesting.
Right. I know people like to scream that it's anti-consumer and this and this. Anti-consumer would be like offering you something like free to play, and then once you're locked in, saying, okay, now it's going to be $45 a month.
Right.
Flipping your script on you. That's it's not the same thing.
No doubt, no doubt. No, these are good points. I'm with both you guys, man. Because at the end of the day, again, I'm from that era. You know what I'm saying? Like, Genesis had this, Super Nintendo had that. You know what I'm saying? So if you wanted either one of those things, you either went to your man house to play it or you went and copped. And that gave you a reason. You know what I'm saying? So all this, it got to be on everything. I'm not from that cloth. I don't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool if some stuff is multi-platform. Great.
It's not that I'm saying it's got to be on everything. I'm saying Microsoft got to be more aggressive to their competition in securing these and making sure they're not at least not a timed exclusive on the competition. Like, look from standpoints on like Hellblade. That I don't even know if that game would have came out for Xbox if they didn't buy Ninja Theory.
Right. I mean, listen, it also comes down to being aggressive too. If you the first, right? If Sony was ahead of the game, and kudos to them on that. You know what I'm saying? It could be a situation where they just a little bit more aggressive with that kind of stuff. We know Microsoft is not like it's a money issue, right? We could assume that it's not a money issue.
Then again, this game was it probably came out around when they checkbook was locked. It was locked in Phil Spencer's back pocket, and he didn't get the key to unlock it yet. So we'll have to see, because I'm not upset that it's not coming out for Xbox. I think it's a missed opportunity, and I think that there's a lot of, like myself. I got to get another PlayStation for one game now. But I'm not one of those people that I refuse to. I will go out and do it. If I want to play it, I gotta go buy the game. I'm gonna play Final Fantasy 7, and it's not gonna be on the Xbox platform because apparently they didn't think it was relevant enough to go out and try to make sure it was at least on all platforms.
Shout out to Dev Singer with the final super chat. The Last of Us is overrated. Question Lord, Final Fantasy 7 Part 1, $60 collectors, $200 plus. Final Fantasy 7 Part 2, $60 collectors, $200 plus.
Did you
get the finesse crown from Nintendo?
Did you get the one before that? Death Singer, Remember Crash Race 2, Zero mention of Xbox. Did you get that one?
Nah, you hit that right now. Good luck.
Yeah. He has a good point there. When Crash was being announced, it's like what we said. Sony acts like that IP is theirs when they market it, when it's a timed exclusive. Like, remember with Destiny, like it wasn't even theirs. It was on the competition platform, but in the writing, it said the competition can't talk about it. So.
And that's the thing, because again, the casual market tends to be the one that's going to gravitate and buy these franchises. So if they see a commercial and all they see is it's synonymous with Sony, the assumption is that you can only get it there, even though that might not be the case. Again, exclusivity.
Why do you think people fight over Call of Duty marketing? Because at the end of all those commercials, when they see that PlayStation logo, they connect that game that they just saw to that PlayStation logo at the end of the commercial.
Yeah, salty, cutthroat marketing. I'm from that cloth, Salty. I'm with you, brother. Like, that's what I grew up with. Like, you gotta. If you hustling, you gotta make them come over here, baby. You gotta.
If you're not first, you're last.
And it's like what Microsoft said. They are no longer interested in making people come to them. They're going to them now.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a cool marketing slogan, but if they don't have those games next gen, I don't think it's going to work out for them.
Philly say, if you need that kind of deception, you lame AF. Listen, before we wrap up, real quick, this is actually because Salty gave us his view on it, and I just want to get BG and EJ in reference to real quickly, because we're going to wrap up. We already did this topic, but y'all missed out. Gears 5 smoking, issue or non-issue? Before we get out of here, I gotta get your feedback.
I'll let BG go first. Go ahead, BG.
It's definitely a non-issue. Like, it's dumb. It's the reason why they decided to take it. I understand they wanted to be in compliance with the E-League and everything like that, but it's just dumb because of the gratuitous violence, but then smoking is bad. So it's like, so what are you teaching kids? Because you have to be consistent. If it's about like not promoting smoking to kids, so does that mean the game is promoting dismemberment and violence and all that stuff? Like, so that's why it's dumb. I understand wanting to be in compliance with the
chainsaw to the admin.
Like that. Yeah, and then the other problem with it was Rod Ferguson personalized it and was like, "Oh, my father died from cancer from smoking cigarettes and all that." Bruh, You should have left that. You should have left it at we're trying to be in compliance with the E-League, because now people could say, oh well, I had a friend who died from gun violence. Take all the guns out the game.
Chainsaw violence.
Yeah, so it's you should have just left it as we're trying to be in compliance.
So last thing too, before I pass to EJ, in reference, and it's a point I made too, in reference to like the whole esports influence, right? You know, the thing I mentioned was just like I get nervous sometimes when bigger corporate entities, like I'm all about the developer's artistic vision, right? If he want to do whatever he want to do, like how Sekiro doesn't have an easy mode or whatever, like I'm all about giving the developer their right to have that choice. You know what I'm saying? And them stick to it. So with this kind of stuff, like BG, like do you worry about like corporate entities kind of influencing game design decisions?
I don't worry about it too much. I mean, it happens. I mean, yeah, it does. It happens sometimes, but I don't think I over worry about it. I think some people, you know, bring it to the point of conspiracy theory, and they think everything is influenced by some big corporation, when in practicality is probably more influenced by like individual developers and their feelings and where they come from in life. But I try not to worry about it too much, man.
No doubt. Lord EJ, what do you feel about Puff Pass Gear?
Well, the first thing I thought was I don't really even remember anybody in Gear smoking.
Me neither. I couldn't remember.
So I was kind of laughing at the whole thing initially, you know what I'm saying? And I think, was it the one character had a cigar, the guy from the new
yeah.
Okay, so then I saw that and I started thinking, okay, this all falls in line to the whole esports thing, which to me, the whole wave of Gears rollout has been towards we're trying to get that esport crowd. And we see the numbers and we see everything else. That's why you're not seeing campaign, because the fact rare achievements still popping Gears 4 when you go through the campaign. So they're like, why are we gonna put that, you know, that favor on that? So the whole smoking thing to me was like, it wasn't necessarily a censorship thing. It was like not even like an issue. It's just like BG said, once Rod got out there and made it like, well, like my dad and this and that, and trust me, my heart goes out to that. Absolutely. But we've all lost people for a lot of things that go on in gaming. There's drinking in gaming.
So what you're pretty much saying is, I still don't think it's censorship, but it does low-key look like, you know, a little bit of censorship when it looks like it was deliberately kept out of the game because of Rob's personal experiences.
Right. On that level, yeah, it definitely is. But I was like BG said, though, now you kind of put yourself on a slippery slope where a lot of things can be scrutinized, right? It's an M-rated game. So you definitely, is it really about that personal thing, or is it definitely more about the fact that you were approached by the truth group and they don't want to have the smoking thing and you're trying to do the whole esport thing? Because I've had friends die from gun violence. You know what I'm saying? My father died from alcoholism and all these different things, and all these things are still a part of gaming. I mean, you got kids running around in cartoony Fortnite, but they're still shooting each other. I work in the school system, and we're actively training kids to hide for their life.
Wow. That's crazy. See how time.
So all these things kind of go hand in hand. So it's like, how much do we want to go? But at the end of the day, theoretically, if Microsoft didn't even say anything about it, they could have kept it moving.
Now, in their defense, Addict, right? They were asked, right? He was asked. And that's how this whole thing came up, or they didn't jump.
Well, what it was is he was going back and forth with people on Twitter.
Gotcha.
And you know, it's like I said, it's that man's business. If he wants to do that, that's up to him. But he needs to understand this is the internet, and people will twist everything you have. And from what you know, first off, it's like it'd be different if it was something big like gun violence. Smoking is nothing. Who cares?
It's not
on the game.
We got it.
Like at the same time, people are gonna be like, okay, what else are you doing? Like, if you are so moved by smoking, how do we know you ain't doing something else? But if he wouldn't have said anything at all, none of that would have even popped out.
No, I feel that, man.
Now, it's not my petty side. Was like, this energy is all over the place here, y'all. Because I mean, Sony they censor some butt cheeks, and everybody's like, oh, they're the worst. They're the worst. But on the Xbox side, it's like, no, man, you know.
But I think that's two entirely different scenarios.
What's that?
I think that's two entirely different scenarios.
No, it is. It ultimately is. But again,
one was put in the game and one wasn't.
Yo, it's crazy. It's crazy. I just, like I said, just had to bring it to the realm real quick. But yeah, we're gonna get up out of here, man. Like I said, we got a poll and we'll roll out. So yeah, new ILP poll to return. So in regards to the recent Gears 5 controversy involving the removal of smoking as a narrative device, how do you feel about this decision moving forward with the Gears franchise? The choices are A, not feeling it, sets a dangerous precedent and interferes with artistic expression of developers. B, non-issue, doesn't affect Gears gameplay in any way, not reaching. Or C, I don't care, Gears about to get smoked this holiday without any campaign footage. So that is the question. Those are the choices. Please rock the ILP vote when it goes up on Twitter. Lord Saltiest Gaming, Lord Broken Game HD, and Lord EcJaxson. Thank you for coming in the room and holding us down. Where can all the fine people find you? Let's start with Lord Salty. Where can the fine people find you? What do you have going on, sir?
All right, you guys can find me at Saltiest Gaming, 2 words on YouTube. On Twitter, it's Saltiest Gaming. The I is a 1. I do lots of tweets there. This week, just gonna get back to normal scheduling, just making videos when the news picks up, hopefully, and then also the Saltiest Gaming podcast Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. That's it.
Salute, bro. Salute on the new one in the realm, man. Have a safe birth and all that. I already know you got another Switch Lite on deck coming through for the new one.
Oh yeah, we'll see. Because my current daughter, still my 6-year-old, she's a hardcore gamer. Yeah. But we'll see with the little one. You never know what they like or dislike, you know. But yeah, hopefully she'll be a gamer as well. You know?
Switch influence early. All right, we got to start indoctrinating them young. Yeah. Nah, salute, Salty. Long overdue, man. It's been a minute, man. Lord BG coming through from the Weapon Wheel later today. What is going on with you, sir?
Chilling, bro. Yeah, Weapon Wheel podcast will be later today at 6:30. So it's the 200th episode. Been doing this too damn long.
Oh, I gotta pull up. I gotta come. Oh, 200.
Yeah, you've been doing this way too damn long. Clearly.
Stuff, brother. That's salute, man. Salute on consistency. Love what you brothers are doing, man. You've been doing it a long time, setting the standard, the tone. Weapon Wheel podcast. Any special topics? Any things we need to look out for today?
Just what happened this week. Nothing super different and nothing.
No doubt. You already know, man. That's my man right there. Salute for coming through, holding us down. Much appreciated, sir. And of course, Lord EcJaxson of the Brat Podcast and Gaming Perspective. Oh man, Undead, what's going on, man? EJ, much love for coming through, man. Where can the fine people find you? What you got going on, brother?
Yeah, thanks for letting me come through. Appreciate it. Yep, you can find me on Twitter, EcJaxson with an X, and same thing on Xbox Live, same thing on PSN. Not the same thing on Switch, because that's 2 phone numbers put together.
You ain't giving out that social security.
It's pinned in my Twitter. That's the easiest way to find that. No, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. A lot of perspectives, as always, dropping the knowledge and fighting off them Twitter fans, man.
Oh, they be coming at you. Hey, people don't like honesty, man. They don't like you. You
gotta be real sometimes, right? You gotta be real. No doubt. Lord Attic, what's going on, sir? Where can people find you?
You can find me going to work and off Twitter probably for the rest of the day. I'll definitely catch the 200th episode of Weapon Wheel
for sure.
You got anything planned for that, or you ain't gonna really say anything right now, BG? I don't know.
Regular, man. It's regular.
Just regular. No drunk Monopoly like press start over there doing.
Right, listen. I'm too old. 200 episodes in, you just kind of coasting. I'm gonna keep it real with you. just kind of coasting.
And appreciate everyone coming by. Definitely hit that like button if you don't mind.
Please,
definitely subscribe. Notice a couple people I know ain't subscribed to ILP. We ain't gonna go into that.
Call out the frost,
but definitely been a pleasure, and we'll see you next week.
You already know, man. And like I said, shout out to Solve and King. They had to roll out anniversaries and family. Oh, my boy JD Game with the fire super chat. Great great show, guys. Xbox forever. Gotta get a Switch Pro though, my man. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, man.
Just get the xCloud, man.
Look at them hating. Yo, shout out to Saul. Like I said, shout out to King. The brothers will be back next week. We'll have some more things planned. And shout out to Salty for the non-rigged Marvel Ultimate Alliance winning.
Hey, I'm broke as a joke, buying all these diapers and stuff. So, man, it's a blessing. I appreciate it, guys.
You already know. Reach out to Saul.
Trust me, if this was rigged, I'd be winning it every month.
Yo, we couldn't believe it. Yo, your timing was impeccable, bro. I was like, he's gonna laugh so hard when he found out. That's what's up, man. But Snaldo's in the chat, so you can salute him. He's the one that drew your name from the hat. Y'all can blame Snaldo in the chat. It's not rigged though. No doubt, you already know. So, yo, check us out. You already know King of Statues. King gonna have a lot of stuff up later. You already know the last word with myself and Eblantis on Fridays in the mornings. Please check out lordsofgaming.net. Tremendous article. My boy Mods Game is gonna have some fire. Joshua Redding, and of course, my boy Gondor's Condor, Dizzy, the whole crew, the whole stream team. Salute, yo, everybody. Please enjoy your Sunday. And on that note, we are out of here. Peace.